Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you all doing today? It's been a very busy day for me. Very busy, in fact. And I was in Bristol today. I don't know whether you've seen any of the video clips or anything going around of the angry Antifa types who were attacking us in the centre of Bristol, and near the statue of Neptune it was, in the sort of town square where they have lots of, socialists wandering around. But it was very, very good fun and very productive, and I had some very interesting conversations there. One of whom was a reporter for their local paper. Now you can imagine how lefty he was, and I think it went very well. These will be up on my main channel, as soon as Johnny sends them across, basically. But so I'm sorry, I'm just getting right. Hello, chat. Honk, fucking honk. Because I tell you what, it's all getting quite exciting in clown world today, right? Let me give you thank you very much, Lynn. Let me give you a quick update on how the campaign's going, because it's going very well, and we're a bit past St. George's Day now, but happy St. George's Day, everyone. Fun fact: Elon Musk is a socialist. Elon Musk is the only socialist. I'm actually starting to get a lot of good press coverage now, if you can believe it. Like, I've got The Guardian unironically printing what I want them to print, and they think it's a gotcha. Feminism is cancer, and it's hurting men, is essentially the theme of it. And they think it's something I don't stand behind. It's like, ooh, do we have conversations to have in the future, oh Guardian? But yes, so that went very well. And also, James Delingpole of The Spectator and Breitbart endorsed me today as a candidate, which was nice. Thank you, James. I much appreciate it. You're a scholar and a gentleman, sir. It's knackering. It's absolutely knackering doing political campaigning. Brenton Verlo. Hello, Sargon. Hopefully it's an interesting talk. Yeah, thank you. I hope it will be. Socialism fails by definition. Imagine having to stream about that fact. It's not about the concept or fact of the failure of socialism that I'm actually streaming. It's actually going to be about the failure of TYT to know anything about politics. And that's the funny bit. But yeah, I thought I'd just shoot the shit with you guys for 5 minutes while we just chill out. Because, oh no, Sargon, please play Minecraft with some of your friends. Man, I would love to play Minecraft, right? Minecraft is what I'm going to do when I retire. Like, I can tell already Minecraft is like digital crack. Like, here's a giant world where you can build anything. Okay, well, great. That's me done for the rest of my life. I've specifically avoided Minecraft because I know that I will enjoy it too much. I'm not going to do it. I'm a sensible man. I have work to do. But tomorrow I'm going down to London and then to stay over, because first thing in the morning, bright and early, I'm going to Gibraltar. If you don't know about Gibraltar, if you are, say, American or something like that, you will learn that Gibraltar is, in fact, a peninsula and not an island. I thought it was an island. And it's a British overseas territory full of Brits. And they're part of the constituency that I'm running for. So I thought I'd be the only MEP candidate to actually go out there and say, hello, how are you all doing? Marussia, hello again. Some books as useful as Alinsky in terms of your political career. 48 Laws of Power, read. The Art of Seduction, haven't read. Wing Bigley, I have not read either. But I do actually have Wing Bigley. I just haven't had time to read it. But thank you for the recommendations. And thank you, Zeno. Don't taunt the monkeys. I will take that under advisement. I have heard this. Why do the Brits have Gibraltar? Because fuck Spain, that's why. I mean, literally, any questions? Because the answer is just fuck Spain, because. Same reason we have the Falkland Islands, because fuck Argentina, which basically is saying fuck Spain. Welsh, rise up. Yes, I know Gibraltar will overwhelmingly remain in 2016, but I think I might have a persuasive argument to the Gibraltars. Because as fellow Brits, they must be aware that if Britain loses her sovereignty to the European Union, and we don't leave, that only further integration is going to happen. And for administrative purposes, I cannot imagine for a second that Gibraltar won't get folded into Spain. And as I understand it, I don't believe the people of Gibraltar want that, primarily because they seem to vote against it every time it's mentioned, because the Spanish government is constantly up their arses about everything. And I would like to remind them that UKIP, my party, specifically will not allow this to happen. This would be unthinkable. It would be like handing the Falkland Islands over to Argentina. Absolutely not. So yes, I'm quite looking forward to going out there. Also, it's very, very nice out there, I've heard, and it's very picturesque. And I'm sure there's a lot there. There's museums and whatnot, and so I'm looking forward to going over there and finding out what it's all about. In the meantime, thank you very much, Sidoku. Hi, Sargon. Best of luck to you and UKIP from Newfoundland, Canada. Thank you, my dude. Can you look into Maxime Bernier and the new PPC, new party here? He was on Dave Rubin. I don't really have time. I'm kind of knocking out this stream because I found this TYT video and I just had to do something. It's so much fun. And I wanted to give you guys an update on what I've been doing because I've been busy as hell. I'm all over the place at the moment. And, that reminds me. Let me just check my WhatsApp messages. I might have a particular special guest coming over for my campaign. And, okay, so folks, if you were going to come down to the southwest to see a particularly flamboyant gay Englishman whose rhetoric was almost unparalleled and charming, what date would you like to do it in, and what city would you want to go to? I think Plymouth or Truro would be a good choice. In fact, both of those might be a good choice. What do you think? Shall I send him a message and say about the 10th and the 11th of May in Plymouth or Truro? Because I think I can do that. Hey, look, whoa. I didn't say Milo. I said a famous flamboyant gay man. That's all I said. I didn't say Milo. But where would it be good for him to go? Plymouth, Truro? I think we can do those. What do you think? I think that'd be fun. See what happens there. But yeah, well, you know, I've always been kind to Milo, and he's always been kind to me. But is it JonTron? I would love for him to be JonTron. Right, I'll say to the 10th to the 12th, I think, of next month. And for now, sorry, I'll blaze through these super chats quickly, and then we'll get on with the TYT video because it's just gold. You handled that interview with a Christian kid like a gentleman. I respect you for that. Thank you. I've come to the conclusion that I don't really want to be an anti-theist. As long as people are leaving other people alone with their religious beliefs, I don't care what they believe. And I think the main problem in the sort of 90s, 2000s was that the Christians weren't leaving people alone. Now, the Christians are very much in need of our support. Because, I mean, whether you agree with Christianity or not, they're at least pro-Western. They don't want to just destroy the West and turn it into a communist hellhole. We ended up with Florida because of Spain. God, I'm so sorry. No, I'm joking. I'm just teasing you, Floridians. Love from the USA. Thanks for the good work you do. Thank you, my dude. I do appreciate it. Your chat with the feminist woman was great. Thank you. Amazing. Man, I tell you what, like when you're in the middle of it, right, you're not really thinking in a meta sense. So you don't know how it appears. And so you're just trying to pick through what she's saying to identify whether she's saying anything true or, you know, what the style of argument she's using is. And so I didn't realize how it was until it was over, you know. Amazing how little she was interested in finding information out for herself outside what the media feeds her. Yeah, and I literally said, look, you're being manipulated. She's like, no, this is manipulation. It's like, me sitting down talking to you is manipulation, is it? Come on. You know, you can literally talk to me and say whatever you want. How can that be considered manipulation? But it was just a bit, you know, like, it was literally just Acadian man bad, man. It was just like, you know, everything you say is awful. And even when she was agreeing with me, she was like, no, I don't agree with that. Oh, well, yeah, I do agree with that, but no. And it's like, yeah, exactly. You're just defining yourself against me. Hey, Johnny Medler, how's it going, dude? How's Boston? I tell you what, man, I'm feeling the Sons of Liberty vibe these days. I tell you that. Because, I mean, a lot of people, oh, right, oh, no, mate. If you scratch me, you don't find a fucking swastika. You find a Gadsden flag, all right? Get out of my fucking shit. I don't want the state doing stuff to me. That's how I'm thinking about it, like getting to the roots of it. It's like, look, I understand the state has to exist, but I want to have as little dealings with it as possible in my personal life. But we Yanks don't have anything like it. The God Emperor is only one man. His campaign donation, well, you better not say it as a personal donation, Johnny. Good luck. But that's interesting, isn't it, right? That UKIP have just turned into the party that is just not going to apologise. And there are people in UKIP who are not happy with this, right? They think, oh God, this is bad optics. But I tell you what, man, there is so much energy around us at the moment. Like, the mainstream media don't want to touch us, but man, everywhere we go, everything's going on. Like, it's like in the Northern Tour we did, right? These are really, really well attended events. And every time Bang just got up and walked up to the stage, it would be a standing ovation that he was just walking to the stage, you know? And it's just like, man, there is, something here. I mean, Farage with the Brexit Party, yeah, sure, he's got, Tory money. Okay, fine. But I think we've got the sort of, the real sort of trust of the voting bloc in that regard, the people themselves. And like, well, okay, yeah, Farage might be the man to do this, but the problem doesn't end with Brexit, does it? We don't get rid of communists from all of our prestigious universities and institutions and government just with leaving the European Union. And I tell you what, man, I ain't going away. They are not going away, and there is no way that Farage is the man to deal with all this. I mean, don't get me wrong. He is secretly based. He's cucked to the mainstream media. Same with Mog. It's really gutting. These people could have just come out and said, you know what, no, what you're doing is wrong. And now, if now is the time to have this conversation, then we'll have it. You know what I mean? But I'm just going balls deep, man. This is like, 5 years of YouTube commentary from the entire YouTube sphere. Like, it's not just me that, there are loads of people on YouTube that I watch that I really respect because they do good work and they make fine arguments and they do good research. And I can just take the things that, I'll learn from them, and then I can just dump this in the laps of the normies. And they're just like, oh. Like, they're not ready for this, and it's going to be great. But don't worry, 57-year-old women don't understand the energy. But you say that, right? A lot of the boomers are really woke. Really fucking woke. A lot of them are. They just don't really know where to go. And so, come on over to UKIP, lads. We're doing this. Like, honestly, we're facing down the enemy in the streets at this point. Bristol was good. You'll see the interviews and stuff. They're good. Anyway, let me carry on. Sorry, quickly. Good luck on the campaign. Thank you very much. There are only two people who needs to interview: Tim Pool and Gloria Borger. Man, I tell you what, right? I mean, I can't tell James Delingpole how much I appreciate his endorsement, but there is definitely one endorsement I'm missing. Definitely. And Dank too. Dank's running too. The question is just how much of a mad lad is PewDiePie? That's the question. I don't think he's that much of a mad lad. I don't think he's got the balls. I think he might be a secret Remainer, to be honest. No, I'm just teasing. Love you, Felix, man. You do amazing work, and you're not backing down, and I love it. Tim, I speak to Tim fairly regularly. I consider him a friend, and I think he's liking what I'm doing with the media because let's be honest, the media are absolute cancer. Straight Soldier, Sargon, long time fan here from Texas. Love the work you did. Love to see you discuss your position on universal versus relative morality with Gary Edwards. Sending the Spirit 7076 your way, dude. I would love to do that as well. The problem is just time at the moment, but I definitely will talk to him about it if he's up for it because there's a hell of a conversation there to have. And as well versed in the idea as I think I might be, and that's not particularly well versed, but it's not bad. It's better than most. But Gary is the guy who's the guy, and I honestly I owe him a lot, and I would love for him to tutor me in the arguments on that. Can you live stream from the European Parliament when you get elected? Well, only if they stop me. That's the reason I won't be able to. But I could break a few rules. I'm not against that. Oh, thank you, Politico 5. Watch the Swindon talks. Wish I could be back home and pop on by. Good on you for taking it to the general public stage. Yeah, you don't see any other politicians doing this, do you? You know, they're expecting your vote. I'm going to earn it. Cheers from Alaska. I wish others would take note from our book and leave people alone. Yeah, dude, right? I hear that Alaska's actually really good, apart from the fact it's freezing cold. But I mean, generally, you probably don't have the same sort of problems that like California has. Rising Japanese right-wing nationalism. Germany rebuilding its army. Mussolini descended in Italy. Britain needs to get out and get tough again. Yeah, man. I tell you what, right? So back in like I think it was like 2014 or something, David Cameron was like, look, things can't go on this way. We need muscular liberalism to return. And I'm like, And at the time I was like, nah, David Cameron's just a stodgy old Tory. I don't care what he thinks. But then it occurred to me that maybe he's got a point. I mean, I do think we do need muscular liberalism. I just don't think that the Tories are the ones to do it. Oh, V, do you wanna jump on, man? I'll see if V's around. Sorry. We're not going to get to TYT at this point, are we? But yeah. So muscular liberalism. I do agree that Britain needs to get out and be strong again, be tough again. We definitely need that, and the Remainers are certainly not the people for that. And I'll tell you what, it's this upcoming trip to Gibraltar that's making me think this. Because, man, these people are going to get absolutely fucking sold up the river by the European Union, and they're our countrymen, man. I mean, listen, right, I'm a forces brat, right? And in the forces, like, I grew up on a military camp in Germany. And you have this kind of attitude, and it feels very British to have this attitude that every piece of sovereign British territory is essentially as important as London, right? So, I mean, like, the idea of the RGs invading the Falklands, man, you know, like, it's hard to find people in Britain who think that Thatcher shouldn't have gone over there and beat the crap out of them, right? If Spain was trying to take Gibraltar, there is no way in hell our government would have the fortitude to stand up for it. And it's like, no, that's just wrong. That is a moral wrong, because these people consider themselves British, right? Get this. In 1967, the Falklands voted to see whether they'd want to join Spain. They had a referendum. Something like 98%, 99% said no. And then in 2002, they had an independence referendum where, again, like 99% said no. And then you have like the Scottish referendum in 2014 where, I mean, okay, it was, it was 55-45. But still, that's quite a significant no. And that's coming from Scotland, the land of Braveheart, fuck the English. You know what I mean? And so I have to feel that we're doing something right in this country. We must be doing something right. If we keep giving people the democratic option to leave and they keep saying, no, we actually think this is all right, This is fine. So I think we must be doing something right, and this is giving me quite a lot of good faith in my own country, even though it's being run by absolute fucking losers. V, are you here, man?
Yeah, anyone who says Britain sucks should come to Romania and live for a month. They will change their opinion.
Really? Well, man, the scenery there is beautiful, isn't it?
Oh yeah, but the people are horrible. Like when I look at. I look at the British, right? Like you guys have an air of politeness upon you. You're more welcoming. You're basically more happy people. But I guess if you lived under decades of communism, it kind of makes people a little bit more grim. And I see Romanians who go to Britain and they change. Like their attitude changes. It's not. It's the mindset as well, I guess, like being surrounded by people who are from British culture. It really changes you.
Let me just let me get through some of these super chats. Sorry, I don't want to disappear before I see them. Thanks for the new memberships, by the way, chaps, and the support from. Honestly, I love me some Texans. I'm coming to the US later this year. I'll see if I can do something over there, lads. I know you lads want me over there, and I'm telling you, man, like. Initially, you hear like the kind of stereotypical Texan, the sort of Texan stereotype, and it's kind of like, oh, isn't that quaint? And then you realize, hang on, this is actually based as hell. These guys are actually cool as fuck, And chat, come on, we're not kicking V. I invited him on because I like V. And Rags has joined me as well because this is just.
I invited myself. Because I believe that if we're giving illegal immigrants the ability to vote, that means Americans should be able to vote in the British election. I think
Actually,
that's only
I
fair.
wanna try this out. I wanna go to America and see if I can get into a voting booth. I won't
Of
vote,
course you can.
but I'll have like a hidden camera, and if I
Get
manage to
into
go
a
into
voting
the
booth.
voting booth, can you imagine the scandal you can create with it?
To be fair, that's probably wildly illegal.
I mean, if you don't vote, I don't think so.
Who knows?
Just
Anyway,
worry about getting into the country at all first.
yeah. Hang
Yeah.
on. Let me get through these. Any thoughts on the Dems eating themselves when it comes to Buttigieg? Geek? I understand he's like a gay mayor or something, but I haven't been following it. What's happened with that, Rags?
Booty.
Yeah.
First off, I'm flattered that you hear booty and immediately think of me.
Well,
However, in this case, I have no idea who this person is. I'm
Oh,
actually interested myself.
right. Okay.
Tell me about Booty.
V, do you know anything about him?
No, I have no idea about Booty Geek.
The gay mayor.
Then I'm afraid we can't answer your question. I'm so sorry. Sub from Texas, my dude, and thank you for the generous donation, Tobin. Fight the good fight against the tyranny of the state. Thanks for the years of content, man. I'm feeling you on that, man. I'm totally bloody feeling you. And yeah, thanks. And yeah, someone's like in the chat, let the Texans vote in the British elections. Yeah, okay. That would really help, actually. If we could get some Texans voting over here, we might actually get some liberty. My God, no one in this country, none of the major parties in the country will do anything about hate speech laws. No, not one. Thousands of people every year being arrested or investigated or having their thinking checked by the cops over here, and no, not one party thinks there's anything untoward about this. Honestly,
Well, what's Nigel Farage doing about that stuff in his Brexit party? Isn't that a big deal? The whole hate speech thing, the thing he's
fucking
been railing against for
nothing.
ages now, right? Now that he's got his own party, surely he's cracking down on that pronto, right?
No, not going to do anything about it. He hasn't even got a manifesto. He's not going to release it until after the elections.
You said
I'm
the
going
M
to
word.
say
That's
something
very
really
reliable, isn't it?
controversial here, and I might trigger a lot of people in the chat, but the only people that manage to do something in your country are the Muslims. Like they're the only ones that pushed against the far left.
Well, that's
They're
true.
like the white blood cells of Britain at this point. It's like you're going to teach the LGBTs to our 4-year-olds. Nope. And apparently the schools were like, you know what, we're not going to do it. But only in Muslim neighborhoods, right? Like everyone else still has to learn the
All right,
LGBT.
let me get through some more of these because I don't want to let them just fly by. Reckon I convinced my parents tonight to vote UKIP instead of Brexit Party. Don't think I can manage the same with my Romanian uni mates though. Well, I think all of these things are about framing, how you approach it. But yeah, honestly, they probably lost cause there. But honestly, Scott has done his service there, right? Everyone in Britain who's listening to this needs to go to whoever it is who's just not necessarily connected to politics and say, look, there are some real problems in this country, and they're being caused by the Conservatives and Labour. The other parties aren't going to do anything. Look, we just need to vote for UKIP. These are the guys who are actually going to take the fight to the people who we understand are fucking things up. So, have you seen the Britishers the week that was? He made a very nuanced point on optics, especially seeming angry being a hard sell on normies not already on board with the internet culture. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I imagine it's probably something similar to Uzulu's critique, which incidentally is not an unfair critique. I completely agree. I'm not too worried about the optics in one press conference like that, because all of this sort of stuff tends to wash on by, and people just say, "Oh God, I know that name. It's a dramatic name," but they don't tend to remember like that sort of stuff because I wasn't really talking to them. When I am talking to them, I think things will be different, and I've been getting a lot of good press lately, as I said. And I think I don't think they even realize it's good, but anyway, sorry. Better show up in Houston, 1776 and 1860 states and local representatives all over the tyranny of the majority. I will do my best. I no promises, but I will see what I can do. When talking to Remainers who want to revote, have you ever brought up that they wouldn't like it if a revote was brought up against an issue they voted for? Yes, it's the most compelling argument, to be honest. It's like, well, you're only doing this because you lost. If you won, you wouldn't want one. So don't ask. Don't ask. It's not just Romania, it's all post-Soviet cultures. I spent a fair amount of time in Slovakia, and what V talks about is rife there too. Zero trust, postmodern mentality destroys every culture it touches. Well, the Soviets weren't postmodern, but I agree, it sounds like their low trust countries, and that's really sad because
They
I
were
think
far right comparing to the SJWs today. Like, okay, they didn't like abortion. They wanted a lot of white people to have children. They didn't like gay people. It was a criminal offense to be gay. Like the SJWs would look at a communist from my country and consider him far right.
yeah, they would. And look, one of the things, I haven't had the time to watch the Slavoj Žižek and Jordan Peterson debate yet. I think I think it's going to be very interesting. I mean, all the Marxists are like, Zizek destroyed him, but I don't think it's going to be that cut and dried, frankly. But what I find interesting is the fact that Zizek called out social justice in it, and that must have made a few of their toes curl, and they're sort of like, oh god, he's not our guy, And then he walks off as friends with Peterson. It's like, oh god,
No, not the lobsterman.
Exactly. Jordan Peterson is going to eventually kill social justice by just being friendly with everyone else.
You destroy your enemy if you make him your friend.
Well, that's true. Sargon
If you kill
Mussini,
your
Ben
enemy,
Shapiro's Destroy Liberal compilations. We need Sargon Obliterates Cuck compilations, which is the Change UK party, especially after that town hall meeting with those smear merchants. Yeah, so what's interesting, right, is I didn't know this before until like we were in the middle of the event, but apparently the Change UK or the Cuck part, and unironically they call themselves Change UK, which is just Cuck.
It's Chuck. It's Chuck now.
Yeah, I know. That's what
they cucked.
They wish it was.
Wait,
Chuck.
they just added the H from the change?
Yeah.
That's cheating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
Do that.
everyone was literally like, "Oh, it's the Cuck party." But the thing
Yeah,
is,
so they cucked and changed their name. That's the funny part.
Yeah, but
'Cause they
Well,
should
you
have
think,
just
you
owned
think
the
of the
name.
meeting when they wrote it down the first time. CUK. Oh wait, guys, we have a problem.
the funniest bit about it is that they're literally status quo warriors. They're literally like, no, keep things as they are. Things are great as they are. It's like, are you insane? Like British politics is just falling apart at this point. The Tories are dying. Labour are literally considered a racist party. I mean, literally, it's just they're anti-Semites and they're pro-grooming gang. One of their lords is on trial for being in a grooming gang. A Labour lord. And it's just like, Jesus.
Oh, they care about a grooming victim now, but she's a member of ISIS.
Yeah, that was Neil Hamilton's amazing tweet. Labour finally. Diane Abbott was like, "Oh no, this Shamima Begum was groomed. It's obvious." And he was just like, "Oh right, Labour find a grooming gang victim they like, and she's in ISIS." And it's just like, it was amazing. It's just like, God, I can't believe what's going on. Like David Lammy is literally like Labour black identitarian MP, and he's just sat there raging about how Jacob Rees-Mogg is a super Nazi, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? So I think there's quite a lot of open space for just calm dialogue, which is what I'm doing at the moment. And I mean, it seems that, you guys seem to be really enjoying the chats that I'm doing. I'm getting a lot of really good feedback on it. So I'm just going to keep doing them. I've got a whole batch of them to upload later on. I've got some spicy ones too. Somehow Christchurch managed to come up. So, sorry, say again.
You should do them even if you don't get elected. You should keep doing them.
Well, honestly, I probably will because they're really interesting. They're really good.
Crowder's gets crazy views when he does his. I like listening to Crowder's.
Yeah, I can see why, because they are really decent. But yeah, it's really interesting to do. Maurice Dark. Sorry, I'm just gonna don't send any more super chats set because I want us to go through this thing. I'll set up a watch together room, or in fact, Rags, do you want to set up a watch together room while I'm going through these, and then I'll send you a link for it.
I'm actually in the middle of a game, but it's almost done, and I will once I'm free.
Sorry, did I interrupt your gaming?
No, I joined volunteer. I admitted I forced myself into this.
I'm just teasing. Did I watch your rebranded Chad party video yet? No, I didn't, but we can. Let me.
Someone in the chat was upset about my Romanian comments. Look, the reason Romanians piss me off is that there is this mentality here about we can't do anything. We need someone big like the European Union or the United States or some stronger entity to guide our hand. Because there is no way like Romania could make its own decisions or, have a strong backbone and say no to the European Union or try to negotiate with Hungary or Poland. And that is something that I noticed and it permeates in Romanian culture. And I think it's because in communism, you look at the government to give you things. You look towards the government and to the Soviet Union to fix all your problems, to wave that magic wand. And I don't think
Yeah.
British people have that. I think British people are more into having accountability for the people they elect. Like even the British
Well, I
Parliament,
can
it looks
actually,
like a
I can fill you in on this, V. About 48% of the country want the government to do everything for them. 52%.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, no. What you're describing is the Remainer mindset. I mean, they always do this. They're always like, well, who's going to fix the problem? It's like, well, we will. And they're like, oh, well, we can't do this. It's like, no, we'll figure it out, man. We can do this. We have got this. And this is the thing, right? This is another thing that I'm going to talk about in when I go to Gibraltar. But the profound lack of optimism about Britain itself. And I'm like, man, if I were like a dictator who just like invaded from another country and taken over Britain, and all the Brits were like, okay, what we can do now? I'd be like, wow, this is great. You know, like you guys don't even know how much we're going to win. You know, we're just going to start winning. You're going to get sick of winning. You know, I just use Trump rhetoric all over it. But yeah, thank you. We know. The Giant, what can American legally do to hack the election for you? Just be active on social media is good enough, mate. Honestly, just keep getting the word out. Keep fighting the good fight in our corner. Make sure in all the comment sections that you see that, you know, when they're talking about me, Dank, or whoever, you know, anyone, UKIP, anyone, just make sure that you're out there fighting in our corner. That's the best thing that you guys can do for us.
Make memes.
Yeah. For V, if you go to the US and give the name and address of a registered voter, you can vote as a foreigner. We need voter identification cards. You do? Jesus.
No, but I'm genuinely like trying to see if you can have an immigrant, because this would be like a story like you're a whistleblower, right? So can someone from outside the United States vote in an American election? Because then you go into the conversation and yeah, you do need ID laws. You do need people to show ID in order to vote.
Well, you probably do, yeah. You could do that. V for Vlad Tepes 2019. You've skipped the last couple of super chats I've sent suggesting using a bearing song in your campaign. Did you miss them or are you against the sentiment? Even if I was against the sentiment, Nate, I would definitely have read them out. I missed them because I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. I don't know about a bearing song. Does Bearing do music? Does he?
Yeah, he's got a music channel with, I think it's his real name, Patrick something.
Oh right, he does music. Oh right, okay. I haven't. Man, I tell you what, when you're out doing stuff, you don't have time to catch up on YouTube. It's really annoying. There's loads. I know there's loads of videos out there that are really good that I haven't been watching because I've just been doing shit, which is awful. I'm like, oh, so here's a quick story, right? Some Antifa cucks turned up to confront us in Bristol, and one of them was like, "Oh, you're just doing all this for the money." I'm just like, mate, if I want to make money, I'll sit on my ass and I'll just make videos. You know, the way I earn my bread. You know, it's not like I need to leave the house to make money, but I'm doing this because it's something I feel is really necessary to be done, and it's really tiring campaigning, man. It's really tiring. So you know, talk to lots of people all day, and I'm not complaining because everyone's lovely apart from the commies. It's just, you know, that's a reality of it. It's just tiring. I would just stay at home. I wouldn't do anything, you know, apart from make videos.
Hofstadt told Nigel that he's doing it for the money. It's a common insult they throw around.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, I was just saying to him, look, man, I make more money than an MEP. You know, I employ 3 people for fuck's sake. You know, money hasn't never been the driving force for me in any of this, and I don't intend to finish as a millionaire either. I don't think I will. But you know, I genuinely want to change things. Howdy from South Carolina, and so many challenges for the God Emperor in 2020. Yeah, but the God Emperor is going to just steamroll them all. Let's be honest. He's going to rout them out. Oh right, okay. Tank Raptor, who are you rooting for in Game of Thrones? Okay, chaps, have you seen the latest Game of Thrones?
No.
Yeah, I think it improved.
I don't care about spoilers if you want to talk about the thing.
Oh, that's good because it was shit.
Yeah, but it was better than the previous season, wasn't it? Episode 1, come on. It was directed by George Lucas.
Yeah, but it like the two episodes in series 8 so far have been really bad.
Okay, let's discuss. What did you not like?
Okay, the first episode was just basically sort of shuffling things into position episode. Deliberately getting everything. Oh, look, everyone's in the Winterfell. Is it Winterfell or are they at? They're not at the wall, are they? Yeah, they're at Winterfell. Yeah. Oh, look, everyone's at Winterfell. And then this episode was literally. It felt like an episode of EastEnders. If anyone in Britain is in the chat, just be like, look, Explain what EastEnders is. It is just a soap opera where literally someone walks into a room, catches someone, goes, oh, and then they have a little dialogue, and then they walk out. And then another person walks into another room, sees a person, they have an emotional exchange, and then they walk out. Another person walks into another room, and then whatever they talk about, some other character.
Stab someone.
Yeah, exactly.
I said this in my review. It was just an episode for the women because it was just talking and talking and
it was
the entire episode.
Fucking yeah, but the thing is, right? It's not like someone the other day said this really clever thing to me and talked about like character development and narratives, and how like the strongest way to build a character is show them doing things. The second way was something else, and the third way was having two other characters talk about that character, which is the weakest, and that's what that entire episode is about.
Marvel.
Sorry,
I just had something in my throat.
Yeah, but what was the joke? I missed it.
Oh, as I said Captain Marvel through the.
Oh right, I haven't seen Captain Marvel yet because it's fucking ass.
It's ludicrously terrible.
And frankly, Brie Larson just seems like such a bitch. I just can't be bothered.
Oh yeah, she's a cunt.
Yeah, but the whole thing, it was just like it was really bad, really bad. But not only that, the female characters were written really badly. They were all the same character. It's like they've turned every female character into. Like the feminist bitch character, where she's not afraid of anything, she's not scared, and it's just like, dude, everyone is fucking scared. There's the army of darkness coming. They're gonna kill you all. They have a dragon, and these female characters are wandering around side-eyeing each other and bitching at each other, like having some sort of status jostling competition. It's like, dude. The only people who seem relatable in the episode are the men, because they're the ones who are actually like, Christ, I'm afraid of what's happening and I better get to work. And they're literally, right, they're just wandering around doing nothing. Like everyone else is like hammering stuff and, piling up rocks or whatever. And they're just wandering around talking about shit. And it's like, leaders lead by example. Get to work. Surely you've got something you could be doing.
There was another trope you missed, and this is in comic books a lot. It's the same thing in comic books. All women are the same character, but when two women get together in a room, they instantly like each other.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think it was the Daenerys and the Sansa, like until until the very end. It's almost like they connected. It's just bizarre.
Yeah. So, suddenly we're bestest friends, even though we've never met each other and we have nothing in common. Brilliant.
Yeah, they're touching each other's hands and stuff.
Yeah. It's that kind of fakery, and it's like, yeah. But so yeah, who am I rooting for in Game of Thrones? Honestly, I'm rooting for the White Walkers at this point. Just White Walkers 2020.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the good guys versus all the bad guys in one side. There's nothing to root for. Like, it's not like in the Battle of the Five Kings where you have like a king you like and stuff.
But that would be fine, right? Oh, fucking hell! Something that really annoyed me is Brienne of Tarth being knighted by Jaime Lannister and Jon Snow and Daenerys. Right? You can tell George R.R. Martin is not writing it now. Right, it's so transparent. Right, the dialogue is stilted as anything. The characters have all essentially become the same character. There's the male character and the female character, and the female character is a bitch, and the male character is just like, okay, I'll just do whatever she says and just get on with it, right? But the use of feudalism in the world now is just pathetic and really bad, right? For example, Jon Snow, the king in the north. Oh, he's bent the knee to Daenerys. Okay, well, there's a very easy solution. Him and Daenerys, the people who are having a relationship, gets married.
Yeah.
Yeah, then he's the king and she's the queen. Problem solved, right? But secondly, like Jaime Lannister going around, oh, only a knight can knight another knight. No, that's nonsense. Knights can't.
Well, how'd the first knight get knighted?
Exactly.
Checkmate atheists.
No, but that's exactly it, right? That's exactly it, dude. It's like, no, knights do not make other knights. They are peers, right? Lords make knights. So you're looking at a baron or a duke or a count or a viscount, something like that. And the lord will give the knight a fief. And the fief will provide an income for the knight, and the knight, for his obligation, will be to give an oath to the Lord and then fight for the Lord. Now, as soon as I lay that out, you realize there is a massive fucking missed opportunity with Brienne of Tarth and Jaime Lannister. That would make a lot.
The Lord, yeah.
Exactly. He's the heir of the fucking House Lannister. He must at least be a duke. And then Brienne of Tarth, she could have pledged her fealty to him, so she can't just look down on him or be a bitch to him. She's now obliged to be with him, sort of like, as his servant or as his feudal vassal. But it would give their relationship a specific kind of dimension and one of caring, reciprocity, and mutual self-interest. And they like each other anyway. They respect each other anyway. So it would be an interesting thing to happen. She'd be like a female knight, you know, it wasn't done before, but this is radical because she's fantastic, you know. It would be really interesting. It would be like, you know, in like genre building, you know, it helped build up the world around it. Like, look at this interesting stuff, like Dark Times make strange bedfellows and all this sort of stuff. Nah. She's just a knight now. She doesn't even have a lord. She's a knight without a lord or any kind of lands. And it's like, okay, yeah, whatever. Get bent, Game of Thrones. Sorry.
It's kind of weird that nowadays, if we have to go to superhero movies for like the pinnacle of character development now.
Yeah. And they suck now too.
No, they don't.
I hate them.
Which one? Which one?
Wait until.
Well, like Marvel was terrible, but I've been going with I've been with Mahler watching all of the MCU movies that I haven't seen yet, and like Spider-Man: Homecoming and the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. I mean, they're crazy good.
To be fair, I did enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy because
they're both really good. We saw the first and second.
Yeah.
I think the first is better objectively.
Yeah,
it's just more solid in its structure, but I like the second more.
Yeah. But to be honest with you, I think it's the genre that I'm getting weary of. I don't think it's the films themselves. The films themselves are probably really good. But they're
great. I mean, there's some stinkers here and there. I mean, there's Iron Man 3s and Black Panthers.
Yeah,
but
of course.
There's definitely more hits than misses. Yeah. They're crazy good.
But I think I'm just tired of the genre. I don't feel connected to it because I'm not a superhero. You know what I mean? So
now with that attitude.
Well, yeah, exactly, right. But anyway, let me get through some more of these. Sorry. Am I going to make a video on Extinction Rebellion / Greta? I've made loads of videos on Extinction Rebellion already. I feel like I'm living in clown world, watching politicians clapping like seals their crap. Yeah, so Greta, for anyone who doesn't know, I can't remember her surname off the top of my head, but she's a 7-year-old child who's like, oh, climate change is still in the future. And everyone's
a 7-year-old?
Yeah, unironically, and literally, like famous MPs from all of the sort of top 3 political parties are just start around clapping. Oh, she's so inspiring. She knows exactly what she's talking
anyone
about.
You can trust. It's a 7-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. They know exactly what they've been fed. So it's just like, oh, fucking, it's embarrassing. Honestly, British politics is going right down the tubes at the moment. So this is why I'm feeling quite optimistic, to be honest. Because I mean, who the fuck are you going to vote for? These idiots cheering for children or the shitlord from the internet? Why not? Why not?
I bet if you look at it, she's probably like the daughter of some important politician or activist. I watched Captain Planet when I was a kid as well, and I was felt all the bullshit propaganda of it. But I never got to speak in the parliament about the.
That's because Romania isn't run by clowns. It's run by corrupt politicians. Andrew Levin, good luck from California, thank you. Why do Ramonas love being ruled by foreigners, says Marusha Darking.
We were saying she's like 15 or 16?
No, she's...
Not 7?
7.
Everyone's saying 15, 16. That's interesting.
No way.
Reminds me of that chick from Turkey, that kid from Turkey we posed with the terrorist, and Erdogan took her on his lap and stuff. What was her name? Banana something.
Banana?
Yeah, it was a weird name. But she was basically like this kid from Syria, which was asking for U.S. intervention.
I remember that. Yeah, okay, I remember that.
She is actually 16. She just looks 7.
Ageist.
Yeah, but she's
that arguably makes it worse. I think I trust a 7-year-old more than a 16-year-old.
British people can't tell age. Like, they were getting so many children refugees, and I was looking at it. It's like, holy shit, these aren't kids. Like, the British government cannot tell the age. Sargon is living proof of it.
Look. Right, I put a link in the live stream. In fact, I'll get it up so you guys can see it. Right.
She looks 7.
She looks really young.
In Sargon's defense, she does look like a 7-year-old.
Look, hang on. What's the other country? Right, that's her. She does not look 16.
She doesn't look 16 at all. She looks half that.
Yeah, exactly, right? She literally looks like she's not even 10. And so it's just like, right, okay. All right, whatever. Fucking, she knows all about climate change. This is good for her. Right, okay, yeah. With the Watch Together link, here's the link to the video, Rags. So whenever you
want. You can put it in.
Oh, can I?
You just put it in and click it, yeah. Yeah. With Watch Together, yeah, just put it in and...
Yeah, but, okay. V, have you joined it, by the way?
No, you're not. Learn, you
Not
shall.
yet.
Wait, that's not it. Jimquisition. I don't want Jimquisition.
Oh yeah, that's what the one we had last on. That was a shitty video.
Well, you might want to do it, man, because I have no idea how it works.
Um,
No, sorry.
One of the town
yeah,
hall.
exactly. Very
Yeah.
good. Excellent.
Yeah, so we'll
You
go.
can do it now. You know. Hooray!
That's it.
Now I know. Right. Okay. Ramonas love being ruled by foreigners because they are essentially the European Union's equivalent of dhimmis. They just love being ruled from afar because they don't feel that they can rule themselves. That's the thing. I think they just lack the self-confidence to actually be their own masters. It's genuinely an embarrassment. And
I actually looked into this. Like, what is the advantage of collectivism? And the advantage is that you have an easy life. Like, you don't need to take decisions. You don't take responsibility, and you just have someone else dictate what you need to do. Like, your place in the world is this, and you just follow. And there's a lot of people who just like to follow, and they don't like to take their destiny in their own hands.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about abdicating responsibility. And the worst part is, these are the great and good of our country. You know, these are the best and brightest. And they're like, yeah, we don't want to take responsibilities. Oh, for fuck's sake, you're the guys who want to be in charge.
There's also the utopia, right? Because a lot of people who like the EU, they want this idea of a one government for the whole world. And my mom, I think she's like that as well. It's like, well, you don't think the European as one state, like it's going to get everyone to unite and going to create, this one government in the future, and it's like, oh, is that really a good thing?
Yeah, no, I don't think that's even a good thing. I think we should, in fact, try to destroy the governments we've got and decentralize things down to local levels all around the world.
Sorry, on the revolutionary.
Yeah, honestly, I'm getting more towards the sort of like, look, we need decentralization.
1776, the South shall rise again.
Basically, yeah. And in fact, I'm going to keep going here a second. Sorry. Have some 1876 spirit from British Columbia. Campaign in Vancouver. I'd love to campaign in Vancouver, but you can't vote for me. Where'd your merchandise store go? It's empty. Would love to support. Well, I like doing the t-shirts in batches, so they're unique. And so if you buy a t-shirt, you know that you're one of the few people in the world who has one. So I don't want to just keep spamming out t-shirts at any time, because I like to make them a bit special. So, I think there's something interesting there. Thank you, DJ Freedom. I really appreciate that, man. Great to see Rags here. I guess V's okay too. Aw. God Howard says, my favourite Brit, Doggo, and Roman. Can't get better. See, you've got fans.
Roman?
Right? Yeah, V.
Romania, I see.
Yeah.
V. You've right, we have a request for you here from Non-Vitae Rex, right?
All right.
I want to hear V's fake American accent he's going to use to sneak into the voting booth now.
How do you do, fellow Americans?
No. It's like this. I am Muslim. I came to vote.
Well, checkmate.
That'll work in a few states. Some states it'll be counterproductive.
Where does Ilhan Oman run? Where's she? Ilhan Omar, is that her name?
Yeah, I don't know what state she is.
God.
State of lunacy.
By the way, did you see the recent controversy with the American politician calling Christians Easter worshippers?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird.
Because, that's an accurate description of Christians. They worship
It's like calling
Easter.
women vagina havers. It's just weird.
Well, it's even worse, actually, because, at least technically that's true. Women do have vaginas, but Christians don't worship Easter. They worship at Easter as a particular holiday.
Well, it's like it's like Sunday worshippers, because they go to church on Sundays.
Yeah, but it's like saying, after the Orlando shooting, you would issue a tweet where you say, all the nightclub dancers, something like that. It's like my heart goes for the nightclub dancers.
It's got to be the Muslims are afraid bit that really gets everyone's goat, right? Because I saw that and I was like, right, just ignore it. Just fucking ignore it. The fucking BBC, Sri Lanka bombings, Muslims are terrified. Oh, fucking all right.
Oh, well. Well, yeah, because I guess the dead people don't have to worry about it anymore.
No. They're the real victims. You have to
understand. That was actually a thing that the mainstream media would say 2 years ago. It's like, the real victims of this tragedy that just happened are the innocent Muslims that have nothing to do with it. And
the real victims are the women who have to live without their husbands.
No. The real victims are the Muslims who had nothing to do with this and yet are still afraid for some reason. Okay? They're the real victims. Get used to it, you bigots. Stop being such Islamophobes. The Easter worshippers probably had it coming. Just don't question it. Just don't question it. We don't even need to talk about the Easter worshippers. I've forgotten what holiday they were even worshipping already. They're just nobodies. They're nobody. No, they're not people who are in any way vaguely fucking important, man. Fuck
you know
me,
what I
it pisses
think?
me off.
It's the fact that the Christian is at the top of the oppression pyramid. So this event where the Christian is actually a victim really destroys the intersectionality narrative.
Yeah. They consider Christianity to be a privileged religion.
Yeah, Christianity, especially like a white Christian, is at the top of the oppression, and the Muslim, especially the more conservative and the radical the Muslim is, the more oppressed he is.
Yeah.
So it's like the bottom of the pyramid oppressing the top of the pyramid, and that can't happen.
But then if he has to resort to terrorism.
Well, that's the thing. As soon as they cross the line onto terrorism, oh no, he wasn't a real Muslim.
Oh, do you know what? Someone tweeted at me, which is absolutely abhorrent.
Go on.
They blame white nationalism for this. They said because of the attack in because of the attack in Christchurch, this was done as a response, and it's because of white nationalists. And I'm like, well, yeah, but the white nationalists also did it because of an attack in Sweden.
Oh my God! Right. So Norm Macdonald, right? Tweet from Norm Macdonald. Yeah, I know the name.
I love Norm Macdonald.
He literally. So what terrifies me is if this is Merlin sent this across to me. What terrifies me is if ISIS were to detonate a nuclear device and kill 50 million Americans. Imagine the backlash against peaceful Muslims.
Wait, Norm said that?
Well, I'll show you. I mean, it's a screenshot, so I don't know whether.
Norm, no.
I mean, it's a screenshot.
Hey, AIU is in the chat. Can you get him?
Yeah, if you can get onto my fucking Discord server.
He blocked me. I showed him a picture of an egg, and he got upset.
Oh, Devin, what's going on, man? Why did you block me?
I genuinely like AIU. That's why
yeah, me too.
Yeah, Devin, I cried that night. I made sure that there's dark in the room so that people can't see me, so my neighbors can't see me. Just put my head in the pillow and start crying.
Yeah, I like him too. Get on Discord and maybe I can get you in. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, unblock me, contact me, and I'll give you a link.
Yeah. But yeah, so, we've got to consider the real victims here, is all I'm saying. Merlin, I'm going to nip out of Skype now, though, man, because Steam even, just so it's not popping up while we're watching this thing.
Well, that's weird, because I heard Norm got in trouble because he said some politically incorrect things.
Well, he's making up for it now, isn't he?
I guess. Fucking hell.
He's unbelievably progressive now.
I just can't be fucked to care, about what Muslims think.
Well, no, it's there are, I don't want to like collectivize Muslims like that, right? It's just it's really misplaced. I agree. We're not going to do terror attacks against Muslims or far right attacks against Muslims. No, nothing like that. And if anyone does anything like that, boom, come down with the full force of the law as hard as you can, right?
Yeah.
Unacceptable. Innocent people, not involved, not their fault. You don't do anything. But when a bunch of Christians die, the first people you look to is not the Muslims and say, "How are you feeling?"
Are you guys going to be all right? Are you guys going to be okay?
Yeah, exactly. Do you think you'll make it through this tough time? That's not the appropriate response. Just full stop. You're wrong to do that. You shouldn't do that.
Do you know what I noticed? Like 5 years ago, criticizing Islam was 100% okay. It was that viral clip with Ahmed, the dead terrorist, which you can still find on YouTube, I believe. If you do it now, it would probably be hate speech, right?
Yep.
But anyway.
Probably illegal in the UK.
Yeah, then it becomes, okay, you can't just look at a Muslim and assume he's a terrorist, which is reasonable, right? I genuinely agree with that statement, right?
Yep.
And then it starts going and going until I believe like the Charlie Hebdo attack, where after it, you had this unholy alliance between imams, the Catholic Pope, and the progressives saying that it's not okay to mock and ridicule a faith. Basically, what they were saying is like, we agree with the terrorists, but we think the sentence was a little bit off. And after that, it starts getting worse and worse to the point where you have in Britain now, you can't criticize Islam, not Muslims. You can't criticize the actual ideology.
Yeah. You get to the point where conservative British MP Jacob Rees-Mogg is saying anti-Islamic comments have no place in society. It's like,
blasphemy laws, basically.
Well, what's your excuse for not joining Islam, Jacob? You know, what are you going to say?
It's the best thing ever.
Yeah, tell me why you're not a Muslim, Jacob. Because if you're going to say anything, I'll say, well, hang on a second, sir.
Well, you can't criticize it.
Yeah, that seems like an anti-Islamic comment. It's against Islam. Why don't you join? Well, I don't like the food or whatever. Anything you say, whatever reason you give as an anti-Islamic comment, Jacob. No room in society for that, you fucking dimmy. Now, say the Shahada.
That train, man.
No, if I was in Britain and a politician, I would just convert, and then I would still eat pork and drink alcohol. It's like, well, I never said I'm a good Muslim, you know?
Yeah.
But like, what are they going to do then? You know, what are they going to do? It's like, well, this is my belief, and it's like, okay, so you're now enforcing my religion. You're saying I'm not a proper Muslim, or what? Are we going to judge that? Aren't you being Islamophobic for criticizing how I decide to worship the Prophet?
Who made you an authority on who isn't?
Yeah, exactly.
Who
made you an authority? Yeah.
I've become such a good super Muslim that I can tell.
Yeah.
Just out of
Yeah.
No, but seriously, like if you would get a massive number of people doing
call me Mohammedar.
You know, just say, yeah, I converted, I'm a Muslim, and you get like this big chunk of people, man, it would actually destabilize all of this shit.
Yeah. Is there any chance you come to Nashville? Possibly. Again, I'm not going to rule it out.
Nashville's a cool city.
Yeah, I'm not promising anything. I'm certainly not ruling anything out. Long-time follower, great work, man of the people. Are you disgusted with the fact that worst offenders are teaching our children? Hi from Nessie. The worst offenders are teaching our children. What, you mean Labour voters? Yes. that I do consider them among the worst offenders. Come San Jose and Monterey. You'll love it. Honestly, I'm going to store all these suggestions in the back of my mind, and I'm going to try and do a tour of Texas or something. It sounds great. Reckon I convinced my parents that. Right, okay, yeah, right. I just watched a video of Jared Batten addressing a smear by Johnny Mercer. The establishment is desperate. Yeah, they are literally in full panic attack mode over UKIP, which means that I get loads of press, which is really funny. And Dank is being edgy as fuck on Twitter, but they're desperately trying to ignore it, and so he's getting edgier and edgier. You can tell, and it's like, let me find. This is just the best, right? I'll find it. Hang on a sec. He was just, man. Right. So, it literally costs zero not to say the fucking N-word, tweets out Hannah. And then it's a meme underneath it with the Joker. It's not about money, it's about sending a message. And then the next tweet in the reply, Dank's next tweet is N.
Yeah.
I. G. And then E. And then L. And so I just replied, get down, Mr. Farage!
Nigel.
He can't hear you. He's wearing AirPods. I swear, I love this meme so much. I love this meme so much. It's just so good. But that's the point. Dag's being a nice little edgy boy on Twitter, and no one cares. It's like, Dag, you got a free pass for the moment, mate. Everyone else's attention is elsewhere.
I think they don't believe he will win.
Yeah, I know.
If I'm not mistaken, like his number, 4 or 5 in Scotland?
Yeah.
So the fact that they're focusing so much on you is that they believe you have a chance at winning.
Well, I'm number 2 in the Southwest, so who knows?
Southwest got quite a high amount of voting last time.
Yeah, something like 33% or something. So
yeah, and I think you need like 7%, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you need 10% or something per MP. So who knows? Right, yeah. So yeah, but Batten dealt with it quite sensibly, and he's just like, the press are just fake news now, and it's like, so Batten's becoming the Trump of Britain. It's great, and he's not, mate. And the best bit about it, he's not backing down on anything. You know, he's just like, no, we're not disavowing anyone. We're not kicking anyone out. And all the parties are doing this, left, right, and centre. The Farage's party, like I actually, I shouldn't say that. I know who the lady who got dumped for saying Islam sucks, basically, by Farage, and he's doing it too. Everyone's fucking doing it. It literally just today there was a Labour Party guy who had said that Brexit was a good idea, and he was getting thrashed through the papers, and it's just like, what is going on? You know, what the hell is going on? You can't just start chucking everyone out of your parties just because they had an opinion once 5 years ago and that you didn't like it. Like, as if there are prescribed opinions in Westminster that you're not allowed to violate, or the press will come down on you and they'll be like, no, you can't say that, that's not your opinion. Do you recant? And they'll start punching you until either your party kicks you out or you're there on your knees begging, please, I'm so sorry. And they wonder why I won't apologize.
You know what you should do if you ever get into the EU MP? When you're in the European Parliament, you should say the N-word, and it will be translated in all those languages.
Well, I don't need to. Yanis Korwin-Mikke. Yeah, but Yanis Korwin-Mikke's beating me to it. He said he said 4 million N-words. Notice I'm saying N-word now. You know the N-word was mentioned on Sky News the other day by one of the hosts. The presenter literally just said it. It was really funny. It was like, woo.
Was the presenter black?
No.
Oof.
I know, right?
Yikes. How do we unpack this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a big yikes from me. But it was actually. It was unironically was.
Maybe, just maybe. Honestly, like I looked into Twitter, and you notice that the people that are far left, they use the same phrase. They use yikes.
Yeah.
They use maybe, just maybe.
Yeah.
They use how do I unpack this? I can't even.
V, your mic's clipping. What's going on? Do you want to
I'll just
drop out and rejoin? Yeah.
Yeah.
For everyone who sent me good wishes, it's an awful lot of you. Do you mind if I collectively just say thank you to everyone who's supporting me? Because honestly, right, there's a hell of a lot of shit coming my way, and if it wasn't for you folks, and not just the super chats, and I just mean like general comments, like because I'm everywhere as always. I'm reading all the comment sections as always, keeping a track on what you guys thinking, and man, like even the people who hate me are supporting me. And it's like, guys, it matters, and I realize that there's something going on here that's not really about me, and I don't want you to think that I think it's all me, and I don't want you to think that like I want to take credit for everything that's happening, because I'm well aware that everything that we're doing here, me standing for anything, Dank standing for anything, all of this is a giant team effort. Right, I'm well aware of that, and I want you guys to be aware that I'm not being ungrateful. It's just that you guys did send a lot of thank yous, and I guess it'd just be simple to let you know that I am genuinely appreciative. And what I absolutely love, is that you guys are enjoying the content I'm getting out of it, like the actual chats in the street. I mean, it's a lot of hassle to go to these places, get anti-fired up. Oh, man, my phone got smacked as well onto the floor. I'm gutted about it. And it's quite a hassle, but it's so worth it to see you guys getting a lot out of the content, because I was really worried that the content would suck, because it does, all the way, you went and did all this stuff, and that's very good, but if the content sucks,
what
I
do you
don't
think
want
of
to
Lord Buckethead? Is he going to have a chance this election?
Apparently
he said that he's going to run against Nigel.
Yeah, he's a Remainer, but Nigel's a cucked.
Wait, Lord
nation.
Buckethead is a Remainer?
Of course he is.
Does the chat know who the Lord Buckethead is?
I'm sure they do, and they can Google Lord Buckethead and be like, okay, this is, and okay, so Lord Buckethead, right? He's part of a long-standing British tradition of being deliberately whimsical and silly, and these deliberately whimsical and silly but safe, politically safe, they're not going to say anything nasty about anyone. The joke is them running in the silly character, so the joke is on them, and everyone entertains that joke because out of good humor and respect for that person, saying, you know what, it's good that we can allow people to do this because it's not being disruptive, he's not causing any trouble, it's just funny, and it's something fun and light-hearted. It's a good tenor to the country, to have people like Lord Buckethead. He comes from a long tradition of that sort of stuff, and so when all the papers started reporting on Lord Buckethead, everyone's like, okay, yeah, cool. No one batted an eyelid. Like we unironically had like the monster raving loony party and stuff like this, and it's just middle class and upper class eccentrics who want to have some fun, and it's totally harmless.
One of these days, one of these people will get elected because people will use to vote for them out of spite. It will be like no confidence vote from the people, and it's
are you saying
I
that?
don't like Labour.
Are you saying that one day Lord Buckethead will make a stand?
Yes.
For what's
Just
right?
think about it, right? Like people will go like, okay, I don't like Labour, I don't like the Tories, they all disappointed me. You know what? Fuck it, I'll vote for Lord Buckethead. And it's going to be so many people that do it that you might actually
That's his slogan. Fuck it, vote Bucket.
Yeah, fuck it, vote Buckethead.
Basically like my UKIP slogan, right? Slogan, right? So since I hope I've covered all that, shall we get on with the video?
Yes, without AIU, that's a tragedy. Maybe this is why he's here. Like the title pulled him in.
Well, I imagine it would. In fact, I imagine it would. I'd be amazed if it didn't. But I don't see him in the Mithraeum, so what am I going to do?
Yeah. Well.
But I noticed that Louis Levi's here.
Oh, that's true.
That is true. If you, yeah.
One of the town hall.
Oh yeah, calm down, slow down. How you doing, man? I really enjoyed your last video.
It was
Oh,
shit.
thank you.
Let me defend Margid for a minute though.
Okay.
He's in the London bubble, mate.
That's fine. I honestly think that his reasons for what he
Hitler
said,
was in the Berlin bubble.
were for attention. That's it.
AIU, right, Devon? How about the slogan, I like kike? Actually, that was unironically my slogan earlier, right? When I was arguing with a Labour lefty, he was accusing other people of being anti-Semitic, and I was not having any of that shit. Like, you're from the fucking Labour Party, and I support Israel, so get bent. You know, like as soon as he started saying, "Well, of course Israel's awful," I was like, "There we go. You hate the Jews. It's an entire state full of Jews, you moron." You know, and he's like, "I want to see Israel destroyed." It's like, well, there we go. You know.
Sargon's cruising for Ben Shapiro's endorsement.
Basically, yes. I may as well. Why not? Ben Shapiro, endorse me, man. Come out and fucking endorse me. You know, literally, I would love to just get a series of endorsements that would just be hilarious. You know, it'd be like,
Yeah.
You know, who are these people? Like the British public would have, and the thing is, the press would report on it because they're connected into the sort of international political world. But the British public have no fucking idea who Alex Jones is. So they'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Who is Ben Shapiro? Who is Alex Jones?
You need to see if you could touch base with somebody like Gavin McInnes. They'll report on that one.
Yeah,
If he endorses you.
He's been endorsed by all these crazy people. But right, let's get on with TYT because I don't want to disappoint Devon.
Hall participants asked Bernie Sanders about his professed democratic socialist label. And of course, there's been a lot of fear-mongering about this, and the way the question was framed definitely showed a little bit of that fear-mongering. But nonetheless, here is Bernie Sanders answering a question about his political ideology. Take a look.
My father's family left Soviet Russia in 1979, fleeing from some of the very same socialist policies that you seem eager to implement in this.
So Bernie starts sweating.
Oh man, no, he makes
sweating.
a face. See, this is the thing. This is always going to be the disconnect between socialists and full-blown communists. They legitimately think like, no, this time, like they think that.
Yeah, but the funniest thing about this is that Bernie holidayed in the Soviet Union. I think he might have actually had his honeymoon there. So it's just like Bernie, he sat there like he's calling back memories. It's like, yeah, I do remember being shown around.
I can't let my wife know I took her to a dump.
They were equal though in the Soviet Union. You got to give them that. They were equal.
It was very progressive.
Very progressive.
Yeah.
This country. So my question is, how do you rectify your notion of democratic socialism with the failures of socialism in nearly every country that has tried it?
Well, that's a bloody good question, isn't it?
Oof. You know, yikes! How do we have back then?
Yeah, exactly.
I already know what he's gonna do.
Of course, he's gonna completely pivot and say, "Wow, you know, that's not what I'm after."
Thank you for asking that question. Is it your assumption that I supported or believe in authoritarian communism that existed in the Soviet Union?
Whoa, Bernie, you did holiday over there, buddy. In fact, I'm gonna Google this. Hang on.
He still beat the living shit out of that straw man, though.
Go on. What do you mean?
Well, that's not what the question was. Like, it's not. She didn't say that he's going to make the authoritarian of the communist union. She was talking about the economic model of Soviet Russia.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, that's true. Oh my God.
Free.
Watch footage of shirtless Bernie Sanders drunkenly singing with Soviets in 1988 surfaces. Bernie, you are literally like the Jeremy Corbyn of America, right? It's like, I'm not for that kind of communism. Although when I was over there, I had a wonderful time.
You know, to be honest, I don't think Sanders is like a socialist. Like, he's not talking about seizing the means of production, is he?
Yeah, I think he might just be smart. Like, but okay. But
this country has people full of guns. You don't want to take away their property.
Yeah. But yeah. Sorry. Did you want to add anything to this, Rags and Louis?
No, I think you about covered the bases.
I always
like,
say
I don't
that
like Soviets, but they know how to party.
they're jumping a few steps in the line. First, you got to do disarmament, then you institute socialism.
Oh yeah, but they're on their way. They do. Oh, we don't want to ban all your guns. Oh no, wait. Actually, we do want to ban all your guns. Fuck you. And it's just like, oh, well.
We don't want to ban all your guns in one step.
It's pretty amazing to watch. Like, gun policy in the United States, or I should say, actually, gun control is getting more and more frequent in a whole slew of states.
Yeah,
and it's getting increasingly stupid and unpliable. Just
yeah. I mean, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about guns, but I watch the left-wing coverage of guns, and I know more about guns than they do.
The people drafting these bills have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, what they're actually calling for. Like, there was a bill not that long ago that called for it had similar language to what happened in New Zealand, where it wanted to ban just semi-automatic weapons, and that's everything. That's everything.
Or the bump stock thing. It's like, what the fuck do you think that does? Like, the bump stock is not a magical killing device. You know, it like, shooters can kill loads of people without bump stocks. It's not a significant, like, you know, force multiplier. You know, it's
No.
you would never go after something so petty as a bump stock. I mean, you might say, well, handguns. Okay, handguns are a thing that lots of people used to kill each other with, so maybe, you know, you'd have a real argument about that. Bump stocks, no, that's it's so transparent.
They keep freaking out about full automatic weapons, and it's like,
they're already illegal.
No, but here's the thing, right? If you go into a classroom and you want to shoot people, if you just keep pressing the trigger, the gun goes up and you end up spraying. Right? But if you want to fire accurately, you use single shot or you use burst of fire. You know, like you don't use fully auto unless you're trying to suppress or you're firing at a vehicle or something.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's already illegal in the United States.
It's heavily restricted, yeah. You have to jump through a lot of hoops.
The best, based on the New Zealand footage, I can say that if you want to clear out a room of shotguns, what do you want to use? And guess what? You can sell those.
Disavow.
Hey, I'm just going based on the footage.
I know, but remember the political environment we're in. Jesus Christ!
Do
Do not use a shotgun to clear out a room full of people. Disavow Lunavi completely.
No, I'd much rather have the 30 rounds in the shotgun.
Sargon, he did this to my channel, right? He comes here, drops some bombs, and then leaves.
I know.
When can I come on your stream?
Hey, I'm just speaking to, you know, political realist ends. If you want to achieve an objective, here's how you do it. I'm just laying that out for you. I'm not endorsing
All I'm saying,
anything.
Louis, is that you have your own channel that you can destroy. Thank you very much.
But my point is with shotguns is that it's not just about like the efficacy of it. It's about the actual law basis, because shotguns are one of the most easily accessible weapons that you can buy.
That's great. So the next mass shooter can listen to the stream, but like, that's a good point by Louis.
I mean, I would rather a mass shooter use a shotgun. It doesn't have any penetrative capabilities, low magazine capacity, slow reloads.
Well, it was nice running for office.
The point that I'm trying to make is that we can live in a safe, cleansed world, a safe, cleansed
Louis,
nation.
right, I'm going to mute you,
freedom.
fucking you son of a
Did
bitch.
you say cleansed?
I'm going to
I'm
mute you.
Are you talking about cleansing?
You are a danger to my channel.
My God, I literally had to mute him for the good of my channel.
Emily.
My point was to say that I value liberty over the lives of random people that are going to be killed.
I know. I'm just winding you up, mate. I'm sorry.
Fine. Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
Some people got murdered by a criminal, therefore take away all my liberties.
Yeah, some people did something, didn't they?
Emily, you have the memory of a goldfish. I am going to mute you. You are endangering my channel.
Yeah, I just went full JF. Right, sorry, should we get back to Bernie Sanders? He was saying something about communism, as usual.
I don't. I never have. And I opposed it.
So you never have, Bernie. You never have. Are we... Okay, right. First person to Google Bernie supporting the Soviet Union wins.
What do we win?
I don't know, but we'll win something.
I don't know. Promises from politicians.
Well, look, it's a win in principle. Oh, of course, they're all spamming about this answer that he's giving now, which is just a big
Principle?
weasel.
That's better than any amount of gold I could even think of.
Yeah.
People in the chat are also saying it as well, is that it's also incredibly easy, especially with 3D printing becoming more and more, sophisticated in terms of designs. This is gun control in the future is going to be basically impossible.
Oh shit!
And we're not far off from that.
Bernie unironically did honeymoon in the Soviet Union.
Yes.
And I found an hour-long press conference of him talking about the Soviet Union. I knew he'd been there.
I saw that. I've seen that.
Was he supporting it?
I won't go that far, but he has said kind things about authoritarian regimes.
Yeah, same as Jeremy. Jeremy Corbyn's way worse, though. Like, really way worse. Like, he's so much more open about it.
He, as far as I can tell, he's outright endorsed terrorist organizations.
Oh, hang on a second. Jeremy Corbyn absolutely has. And he has done for decades. Literally decades. Right, hang on. I've just got a tweet. I'll put it in the chat because I don't think I can listen. I don't think I can play it to you. But give me 2 seconds and we'll see what Bernie's saying.
I think it's also fair to point out that when we were in Moscow, for example, I think most of the people here also were extremely impressed by their public transportation system. The stations themselves were absolutely beautiful, including many works of art, chandeliers that were beautiful. It was a very, very effective system.
It was a very, very effective system. It was a very...
You could
well, I mean, yeah, it depends on what you mean.
The transport was beautiful. The public the trains ran on time is his argument.
The trains ran on time.
That is correct, and the bread lines didn't run on time.
But all I gotta say about Soviet Union is they didn't have Hugo Boss.
I was literally starting thinking, what relevance is that? Oh shit! Louis trying to get me shut down again like a dick. I'm like, Louis, you did a great video. Yeah, well, goodbye to your fucking channel, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, just wait till we stream on your channel.
Yeah, exactly. Trust me, I'm gonna get a hate crime.
Sure, go for it.
Conviction.
Knock yourself out.
Yeah, I know, right? But right, okay, that's enough from you, Bernie. I trust that you actually totally.
Let's just. He's if you go and look, he has definitely said things about authoritarian regimes that are direct praise. So it's not a controversial statement to say that he likely said positive things about even the Soviet Union.
Wow, can I watch together this thing as well? It's a tweet. Can I do that? I take it you can't watch together a tweet.
Tweet, no.
Curses. I wonder if I can find a YouTube video of it actually. All right, give me a second.
Well, if you just put it up on Discord, we can look at it, and if you're presenting it on the live stream, then everybody will be able to see.
Did it's in the Discord.
You could just tweet it out as evidence.
No. I found it on YouTube. Right. Okay. We'll come back to this in a second. Bernie, how much of a fan of communist Russia are you?
Point out that when we were in Moscow, for example, I think most of the people here also were extremely impressed by their public transportation system. The stations themselves were absolutely beautiful.
What?
Including many works of
Just
art,
keep listening.
Chandeliers that were beautiful. It was a very, very effective system. Also, I was impressed by the youth programs that they have. Their palaces.
Amazing.
Oh my God!
A whole variety of young of programs for young people.
So do the Nazis. The Nazis had this.
My dude.
What the fuck?
What were they called? The entertainment palaces or whatever it is.
I don't know, entertainment palaces.
That's fucking insane. You could literally say the same things about fucking the Nazi Germany. You could say the same things.
I don't know about the bread lines, though, if you want me to tell you about those.
Well,
he actually said that a good thing, didn't he?
Yeah,
he said the
yeah. We'll get to that. I'll do that one afterwards. I'll find that while we're listening to the rest of this.
Go far beyond what we do in this country. We went to a theater in Yaroslavl, which was absolutely beautiful, had 3 separate stages where cultural programs are put on by professional actors and actresses, including a puppeteer area.
Better than Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen.
The price of the ticket that you can get was the equivalent of $1.50.
I'm Jane Sanders, director of...
It's funny.
It's equivalent of $1.50, man. That's great.
As Jim said, we're echoing each other. The city was
exchange,
beautiful. We were astounded with the openness, the optimism, the enthusiasm
of the Soviet Union.
The nation. We had, I think the things that struck me the most were the way that they dealt with children and with the cultural life of their community. As Howard mentioned, they put the money into
Brainwashed them
public.
very well.
Well, you say that, but 80% of Russians want Stalin back.
Well, they were brainwashed really fucking well then, weren't they?
I don't know how woke we want to get on the...
Look, I think we're gonna get. I think Bernie needs to really wake us up here. Watch.
You know, it's funny. Sometimes American journalists talk about how bad a country is because people are lining up for food. That's a good thing. In other countries, people don't line up for food. The rich get the food, and the poor starve to death. That's a good thing.
Where does that happen in feudalism?
Well, the poor just can't starve to death because then the rich are no longer rich. Being rich is a relative condition. Like if you're the
That is so true.
If you're the only guy with like if you're on the bottom of that scale and you've got $20,000, doesn't matter how many, if everyone else has got more than you, then you're the fucking poor guy and the market reflects that. Like, Bernie, you're such a fucking mong.
Well, I gotta say, in Bernie's defense, at least he's not like most of the other socialists that become adults and turn into millionaire oligarchs.
He is a millionaire.
He's got a private jet. He got it after he stepped down and stopped Hillary Clinton's clip. Like after he stepped down, he endorsed Hillary Clinton, and apparently he got a jet out of that.
So you're telling me he's a stereotype of a socialist?
Yeah. Mate, honestly, right? Listen, right? I'm not kidding. I'm gonna get the video up. I'll finish the breadlines thing. I think it was only 13 seconds long, the footage. I don't know where the clip came from, but I'm honestly, right? Bernie Sanders is just transparently the most biggest fucking hypocrite in the world. It's just embarrassing. Okay, here we go.
So Senator Bernie Sanders.
This is a news report, but
So Senator Bernie Sanders says his millionaire status does not represent the American dream. The 2020 Democratic presidential candidate released his tax returns from the past decade, revealing his wealth.
Right. That is amazing, right? To say that his millionaire status does not reflect the American dream is just wrong. The point is that America is a country of temporarily embarrassed millionaires. Like, the whole point is to become rich and, wealthy and famous and whatnot in America, right? That is the American dream.
Yeah, in many ways, he is the good example. He bullshitted enough people until the point he became a millionaire and bought multiple houses.
A lot of people think socialism is bad, but if you think about it, if you're Lenin, if you're Stalin, socialism is fucking amazing.
If you're Bernie Sanders, socialism's really done well for you.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, dude, he's like legit currently number 2 for the Democratic primary.
Yeah. And his activists still love him. So, Gareth Usal, I just want to answer this question quickly. I was told that donating to UKIP and or UK politicians in American for political purposes violated campaign laws. That's not true. Up to £500 in donations can be made without declaring it. So you could make a £500 donation to UKIP, and they would very much thank you for your service.
What if it's like repeated £500?
No, it can only be one person, a maximum of £500.
That's when you find a proxy.
Well, obviously I'm not recommending that, but that's the law. And I should check out the Henry VIII clauses implemented in New Zealand's new gun laws. It gives our PM the ability to unilaterally ban all firearms if she chooses, replace the Union Jack with a hammer and sickle when. Well, all I'm saying is it just took one fascist to turn New Zealand fascist. So that's a remarkable success rate. And I made a video the other day saying that progressives will surrender to the Nazis, and I stand by that. They will surrender to the Nazis. They will literally give it all up because one Nazi turned up. And he wasn't even from New Zealand. This was an Australian. So the New Zealanders are like, what the fuck did we do? How's this our fault?
People in the chat are saying, according to current polling, Bernie's currently polling above Joe Biden.
Oh, shocking surprise.
Apparently on Thursday.
Joe Biden's just been sniffing his hair or something while he was giving a speech on socialism.
Yum.
All right, let's finish this.
Candidates like Beto O'Rourke and Senators Elizabeth Warren, Amy Klobuchar, and Kirsten Gillibrand have also released their tax returns.
However, Senator Kamala Harris released 15 years of her tax records, the most out of any other candidate. For more on that, we want to bring in our CBS News political correspondent, Ed O'Keefe, who's in our...
No, we don't. But yeah, so Bernie is actually a Soviet Union-loving millionaire American who is the success story that is the American dream, and he wants to prevent anyone else from being able to do what he's done, unironically. Like, none of that was an exaggeration, right? Right?
No, it's true. It's true. But it's why Louis said it's a stereotype socialist. Is because most people grow up of socialism, like they realize it either tyrannical or
one of the town hall participants.
Sorry, let me control the video if that's all right, because I'm anal about it. I'll start twitching. But yeah, sorry, Karen V. Sorry.
Yeah, but you do have the people who benefit from it, like Bernie Sanders, and that's why they keep it alive.
Yeah, he's been really banging that drum. But anyway, sorry, we'll get back to him pretending that it wasn't real socialism.
Communism that existed in the Soviet Union. I don't, and never have, and I opposed it.
Okay, that's just a lie, Bernie.
I believe in a vigorous democracy, but you have asked me the question about democratic socialism. Fair question, and let me answer it. I happen to believe that in the United States, there is something fundamentally wrong when we have three families owning more wealth than the bottom half of American society, 160 million people. Something.
Oh my God! This is the communist trope. They hate rich people. Like, how does it disadvantage you personally that someone else is wealthier than you?
Because it's not about what you have. It's that other people have stuff you don't. You don't have what other people have.
It's about what
that's all it comes down to.
Yeah, but I bet those three families employ fuckloads of people.
V, you're clipping again. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but they're rich.
I can just I can hear you. I can hear your mic clipping, and I don't even know what you can do about it. You know, so I'm just letting you know.
You see, if V owned as much money as the bottom half of the country, he could afford a really good microphone.
He could.
Hashtag socialism now.
1% owns more wealth than the bottom 92%. Something very wrong when 49% of all new income today is going to the top 1%.
Okay, right, Bernie. Income is generated, like new wealth being created, is obviously going to be disproportionately created at the top. There's no getting around that. But he's not exactly wrong, though, right? Because there is definitely an aspect of human nature that is deeply envious. And
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. And this is actually why I'm actually like a social liberal, but I don't like using the term because people start thinking you're a socialist. Because I do actually agree that we need to. I think that there should be much more consideration given to the poor people in society than the rich people in society. I mean, it just seems definitionally sensible that the poor people are the ones who are more likely to be the first to suffer. But I don't hate rich people, and I don't think we need to effectively penalize them because there are poor people, because that's not their fault necessarily. So it's like, you know, I hate the way everyone approaches this argument, basically.
I agree, but the only thing that I would add is that if you look at the current issues, not entirely, but for the most part that poor people have, I don't know if there's a state solution to many of their problems, because
I think
many of the things that have been tried in the past fail to such a degree that basically it becomes like example with student loans. I mean, that failed so bad that the government nationalized the system.
Well, it's not that that's the problem. I think that what is preventing poor people from like getting onto the ladder of prosperity is mass immigration, mate. I think
I agree.
I think
and that can be controlled by the state ultimately.
Absolutely, it is controlled by the state. So there is a state solution, and it is to put an end to mass immigration. Because I mean, poor people of the country didn't ask for that. They're the ones who have been they are the ones being disproportionately penalised by that. It's literally just saying, hey, you know, you poor people who are struggling, here's some competition. It's like, fuck you, dude. You know, like these people are already having a tough time of it. Why are you making it harder for them by bringing other people having a tough time of it? For the love of God, it's so unfair. I really can't stand it. Sorry, let's carry on before I start going off on one.
And something is equally wrong when we have a corrupt political system made even worse by this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision, which allows billionaires to spend unlimited sums of money to elect candidates who represent the wealthy and the powerful.
Okay, that is actually a good point too.
There's two sides to that. The actual case itself, and not that case, just that case, but several cases in a row, are kind of a minefield in terms of constitutional case law. And I don't really think that even if you were to sue in the right way with the right cases and you had the right justices on the court, it would still be really hard to actually undo those cases. And in which case, I don't even think you really need the influx of money that exists in the political parties and that sort of system. I just think that the way that the system is based, because we are a capitalist society, that the natural predisposition for most politicians is to look fondly upon the people that are going to generate jobs and generate trade and generate the things that are ultimately going to make the politicians look good.
Yeah, but the flip side of that is, do you want billionaires controlling your politics? Because you're just going to turn into a plutocracy.
Sure, I understand that, and
you end up getting Donald Trump, you know.
But I don't really know.
Who's a billionaire, incidentally.
I don't really know what exactly within the system outside of basically having like just micromanaging the money of people's campaigns and where it comes from and voting based on that. Like, that's really the only thing that you can do to sort of counteract.
You do in the case of the UK. I mean, like, if there's reasonable suspicion that someone should be investigated, then they're investigated. But otherwise, everyone is assumedly not breaking the law.
Right. In the U.S. system, it's incredibly easy to donate an incredible amount of money towards a campaign and it be fully legal.
But I mean, the thing is, it's hard to argue against that as well, though. You know?
I think, I know it's against American tradition, but for example, here we have something I disagreed with you. The police is able to stop someone and ask for their driving license, right? Or
sorry, V. Can what's going on with the clipping on your mic, man? 'Cause it is actually
I don't know. I think I'll just.
That's weird. I don't actually. I don't think I hear it.
Can you like unplug the mic and then plug it back in, just in case it's that like a loose connection or something? Because that's what it sounds like, you know.
Well, there's nothing that I did with it. I'll just have to buy a new one. So
okay.
I'll just leave it here then. And
no, don't drop out, man. Don't drop out. Come on. It was just fine. It was just something I thought you could easily fix or something by just.
Well, I don't know how bad it is, but like okay, so stopping people that are driving a car and asking for their driving license create this mentality in the public that if I drive without a license, I might get stopped. So, like, randomly checking people, it doesn't mean that you assume they're guilty. You're just doing it in order to dissuade crime from happening, to get into the mind of the criminal that they will get caught if they try.
But you're also treating the entire public like they're potential criminals. Now, I know technically that they are, but this is what... but this is the difference.
Potential rapist.
Yeah, but why do you lock the door to your house?
No. I understand. But you know how we were talking about how Britain is just a better country? We are a high trust country. We trust people to generally not be criminals. And it turns out that I think most people aren't actually criminals. And so we can investigate on a case-by-case basis, if I'm allowed to even use that phrase anymore. I think that's legitimately a better way of running a country.
Yeah, but it isn't the same thing with voting. Like, you guys don't even need an ID to vote. So.
Yeah, I know, it's terrible. We just assume
well, there you go.
Cheat.
Yeah, but that's the thing. And if you get an ID to vote, then you'll say, well, so you assume that there are people who try to sneak the system.
Yeah. But the thing is, I mean, like, how many people are really going to be so fucking heartless to find this country of naive people who are just like, hey, yeah, we'll just accept everything you say on trust, and be like, okay, I'm just going to take advantage of this forever. I'm going to bring my
friend. Yeah, I'm going to bring my friends and immigrate over there. Like, if your people are that gullible, I mean, look, the way I view it, if I don't take advantage of you, someone else will. So might as well be me because I'm going to be kind. I'm not going to steal and rob you blind. I'm still going to leave like 10% over there so that you can.
It's like a family of like just willfully, blissfully altruistic bunny rabbits who invite the wolf over to dinner, and they're just like, yeah, of course you can come into the house. You know, that's what we're like over here. You should come over. It's very accepting. Should we carry on with Bernie and the Young Turks? We've only like 2 minutes into it.
So answer number 1 to your question is a radical idea. Maybe not everybody agrees, but I happen to believe we should have a government that represents working families and not just the 1% and powerful corporations.
So, okay.
That's again
President Donald Trump.
Yeah, absolutely. But it also sounds kind of Marxist, doesn't it? Like working family, yeah, it's the workers. You know, it's the same sort of mindset.
It's like an argument at a time.
You know what the workers need? More immigrants. That's what they need.
The workers think a wall is racist, comrade.
Well, listen, if we give the working class more competition, then we'll incentivize them to work harder.
Yes. You know what we need to do? We need to have more women in the workforce. We need to double the size of the pool of labor.
By the way,
that'll help the working class.
Having children is bad for the environment, and a bad environment is not good for the working class.
Well, that's actually one of the things that, not to get off track, but there's a bunch of articles that have been coming out recently about how the major labor unions in the United States are getting more and more and more upset with the Democratic Party. And I happen to know from a person that works for a union that is like not necessarily an activist, but someone that like touches base with politicians about local projects and stuff. He said that basically a bunch of the big labor unions, including like I know electricians unions, they're basically calling on the Democratic leadership to get rid of Cortez. They don't like the Green New Deal and they want that shit gone.
Well, of course. They're going to be traditional, like, I don't want to call them socialists because that's not exactly what they are. They're not like seize the means of production type generally.
No, they're trade unionists.
Yeah, but they are like, we would call them like traditional labor in this country. They're not. They are influenced by Marxism and socialist ideas, but they're not actually socialists.
Right.
But yeah,
I'd agree.
Trade unionists, I guess, was the term we'll use to designate. We've got them here too.
Are people taking the Green New Deal seriously?
Yes.
Lol.
Oh, a lot of people don't like it. I mean, who is it for? Ideologues?
Progressives.
Yeah.
It's for progressives.
All I can say is that the trade unions or the labor unions specifically, they're getting increasingly, and there's been articles posted about this, so I'm not talking out of my ass.
Yeah. Well, I tell you
they're
what,
basically going to the Democratic leadership and saying you need to get this shit under control.
Yeah, they really do as well.
Or else. That's the other side of it, is that the articles that have been posted say that the labor unions have directly said to the press that it's a matter of or else, which is you lose our voting block.
Donald Trump, you have a massive opening here. You have created jobs on a scale that was unprecedented, whatever rhetoric you were using.
Well, the problem is that if he flanks to the left, so to say, to court the unions, you'll have Shapiroites go absolutely fucking apeshit.
Yeah, but and here's the kicker: Ben Shapiro has fucking nowhere to go.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
Like, he can't leave. He's trapped in the Republican Party. He's not going to join the Democrats. You don't have any alternatives. The Libertarians are dead in the water at this point. So Ben Shapiro is going to sit there and go, I don't like those people. It's like, okay, well, don't like those people. But now the Democratic Party is ever more smaller. And Donald Trump is going to be securing his base personally with the sort of like the working, the Rust Belt sort of types. He's going to be completely securing that. He will be in an unassailable position.
It wouldn't be that, if I was a strategist, it really wouldn't be that hard to court specifically the labor unions and not like the teachers unions or public unions. Because all you have to do is basically come to them with the idea of, we're going to basically jumpstart the economy. If you vote for us in the second term, we'll guarantee you one big thing you want.
Yeah.
So long as you get your guys to vote for us so we can get past some stuff that would favor the capitalists.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, like the capitalists have more in common with labor than they do the environmentalists. Labor don't really have much in common with environmentalists. They are actually preventing projects.
Yeah, undoubtedly. Like what was the pipeline and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's several big, and fracking.
Yeah.
That's another one that the unions really like. It's a lot of jobs.
Yeah. But yeah, right. Let's carry on, because otherwise we're going to be enjoying this chat forever. And I am enjoying this chat because it's nice. I haven't been able to do this kind of thing, like where it's just chilled out bullshitting. But I mean, to be fair, like before we go, like these labor unions, I mean, they effectively are going to have to vote for Donald Trump, even if he does nothing. Like, they're not going to get rid of Cortez.
No. I mean, if somebody like Bernie Sanders won the nomination, like, I could see him attempting to court. Like, he get all the teachers unions for sure because they're all fucking commie fucks in those unions. But in terms of the trade unions, like, if he came out and basically endorsed the Green New Deal and like environmental projects, like they would hold back their endorsement. They wouldn't endorse him, and that would damage him, especially in the Rust Belt. It would really damage him there.
I think he could easily flip them, just easily. Just walking
Trump, probably.
Yeah, just walking through and go, folks, I've always loved working man. Look at my rallies. I mean, literally, I'm the one creating jobs here. I want to end immigration. I want to get the people
all he needs to do is go to certain Rust Belt states, especially the ones that he needs to win, and badmouth China, badmouth trade, promise some things, and bing, bam, boom, he's got those states.
Yeah,
it's that simple.
And he's got all the data behind him, like the job growth and all, all that sort of stuff. It's just like, and the economy, going wild and stuff like this. He's got all the data behind him. It's like, well, he can't lose. Like, it's amazing. He's in this perfect position where he can't lose.
It depends, but I've already said in the past that I would be willing to find a bookie. And I don't care what the vig is. I'm putting money down on Donald Trump winning. And I think it's just a question of by how much at this point.
Yeah.
But, never say never. He could fuck up. He could fuck up and do something, and the economy takes a shit. Something goes wrong.
Yep.
But at this point, man.
It looks like he's doing great, doesn't it? I think the Democrats' best hope is that he just dies.
Pretty much, yeah.
That he falls over and has a heart attack or something, and then
Tucker has a good segment where he says Donald Trump doesn't want to win, and he's sabotaging himself right now by pushing very unsavory legislation. I don't remember which are they, but I can bring the clip if you want and let Tucker explain.
I think he's probably. I think he's probably just caving to the pressures of powerful influences around him in that regard. Because, I've been thinking about this a lot, and like how politics works, and a lot of it is a juggling act. Like, you really do have people like, I'm not going to spend any time on you unless you do X. And you're like, okay, so you have to do X. Then you've got someone else who wants something contradictory, so you have to give a bit on both sides. So you end up looking like you're not really doing that much. And I can see how it ends up, but thankfully Trump's positive enough that he can take that sort of push inwards and still be a forward force,
People in the chat are asking that you turn up your mic.
I'm gonna head off for bed anyway because I'm really tired. Thanks for having me, and
anytime, man.
Soon.
Yeah, take care of yourself, man. I can't really. For some reason this Shure mic I've got sounds really great, but the volume's really low, and I just can't figure out how to turn it up. So I don't know what to. I'll turn you down a bit, Louis. I think.
Did you go to the Windows? The sounds on Windows?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Is it up to 100?
Yes. Thank you.
Really?
You dick. Yeah, no.
I don't know. I mean,
I'll worry about it.
You literally told V to unplug it and plug it back in. So.
Well, I didn't try that, admittedly. Do you think that'll work? Hang on.
Plugging it up and plugging it back in?
Yeah. No, don't worry. Right, let's just carry on for now.
I like the side eye in the beginning when he did that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what a candidate like me would, how a candidate like me would fare. So Bernie is, after the side eye, is very soft. Thank you for the question, et cetera, et cetera. My inclination is to come out harder.
No, I mean, it wouldn't. The optics of that would be disastrous, especially for someone like Bernie Sanders, who's been accused, unfairly for being whatever, a bro, which is hilarious.
A bro.
Right.
Yeah. He's been accused of being a bro.
So, look, I'd be like, look, first of all, there's.
Oh man, she's talking like she's not talking about Bernie Sanders. She's talking about the clash within progressivism of fucking like champagne socialist soy boys that like fucking Bernie Sanders versus cunts that are feminists and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like they're talking about the inner divisions of progressivism. They're not talking about anything else related to Bernie.
Right, okay. It gets better, though.
A lot wrong in the framing of your question. Nobody's doing Soviet Russia over here. We're not taking over, sneaker factories and McDonald's, etc. So that's a talking point.
You are, just not through the state. They're not using the state to hijack those companies. But I mean, if Microsoft is any example, they own Microsoft.
Do they?
Yeah, they're currently discriminating against whites and Asians, and they're still standing by it.
Well,
as far as I can tell, progressives own that company.
You can't exactly call it state ownership, though. But I mean, yeah, okay.
No, they don't have to. They've bypassed the state. The state is just the cherry on top for them.
Well, that's true.
Got from I don't know where, but it's not remotely true. Okay. Second of all, you said.
Hang on, Cenk. Hassan Piker is an unironic Marxist-Leninist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you say nobody, like presumably at the Young Turks, is saying that, you are wrong. Hassan Piker is saying that. I wish I'd saved
That's his thing. That's Hassan's thing. Is he's a crazy loony Marxist?
Yeah, I mean his avatar is literally him with the Soviet flag. You know, if I had a swastika, it would be reasonable to call me a Nazi. If he has a Soviet flag, it's reasonable to call him a Stalinist, right?
I don't know if he counts since he's just a nepotistic hire.
Well, yeah, but
Are you saying that no, Hassan earned his position at the Young Turks with his incredible talent,
with his
hard
genes,
work, his principles, his ethical prowess?
Right, okay. Well, I guess Hassan Piker doesn't count because he's Cenk's nephew, which is really interesting solution to that question, Cenk.
Well, don't think nepotism. Think minority hire.
It's getting another person of color on the stage.
Exactly.
And disability representation too.
Yeah. Oh man, what a low blow, Sargon. Disavowed.
Disavowed. Sorry.
Every socialist country is a failure. Also, preposterously false.
What?
I know they're always gonna pivot to fucking Europe.
Yep. You know what he's gonna say, don't you?
Europe.
It's gonna be Denmark.
Scandinavia.
Tell me about Denmark, Cenk.
Not even remotely.
Tell me about the people who don't want you to call them socialists.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost all of Northern Europe is socialist.
I did it.
And there's stunning
all of
successes.
Europe.
And you know what they have that we don't have?
Stop.
Great healthcare. You know what they have that we don't have? Daycare. So
hang on. Right.
The Young Turks is daycare for Hassan. What's your point?
But like, socialism isn't daycare, you fucking mong, for a start. But Northern Europe isn't socialist, and a lot of Northern Europe isn't doing that great.
Yes, I was going to say that there's a bunch of countries in Europe now that economies were doing very good, but are now very much slowing down.
Well, Germany almost hit a recession last quarter, I think it was.
That mass immigration, I thought it was going to jumpstart their economy. I gotta contact Milton Friedman and Ben Shapiro and ask what's going on.
Yeah, lads, come on, explain this. Explain why all these migrants aren't actually becoming productive members of society. What's going on there?
Look at this huge labor pool. I thought that this was going to work.
Dude, I guess we just don't know anything about economics. I mean,
So when you have kids, you don't have this impossible choice. Do I take care of my kids? Do I go to work? How
is that an impossible choice?
How can I afford going to work?
What I love about this too is that this goes all the way back to the fucking 60s in the participation in the workforce with women. It's like we entered a scenario where women were basically thrown into the workplace, and now you have to hire basically a nanny or a babysitter or a daycare to take care of your kid. And now that costs more money. And it's like, okay, now all you did was double the size of the labor pool, drag down wages, and now no one's raising the fucking kid.
Yeah. And so it's bad for the kid. And it's like, it just makes sense. Why would you want to work if you could stay at home with your kids anyway, man? Like, honestly, staying at home with...
I've never heard a progressive ever in my life talk about the concept of a breadwinner in a family.
Yeah,
like a sole breadwinner in a family. I've never heard.
Well, they don't.
And I think, and I think it's because it's not a prerequisite. What's it with the the Christian apologetics? They would argue this presupposition.
Yeah,
a presupposition of progressivism is women working.
Yes. As if I know, but the virtue of women working as well, right? And it's not, I'm not against women working or anything like that. Before someone clips this out,
but it has consequences.
Yeah, as if it's a necessity, as if working is actually a good thing. I mean,
yes, exactly.
Honestly, right? And I really think it comes from the fact that most progressives are childless loners, right?
Yes.
As soon as you have kids, working becomes something that gets in the way.
Yes. It becomes a nightmare because now all you would like to do is spend time with you and raise your child, but instead you're grinding away for a fucking corporation that doesn't give a fuck about you.
Yeah, mate, honestly, right? It's some of the best afternoons I've had are building Lego with my son. Like, I get to play with Lego, man. Not very often these days, but I get to play with Lego, and I'm allowed to do it. I have complete social permission to play with Lego.
Socialist invention, Lego.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Scandinavian socialist. Yeah, but no, seriously, it's fucking liberating. And the thing is, every time I make something, my son is thrilled. It's the best thing he has ever seen in his fucking life, and it's like, man, I cannot describe how much fun it is being a dad.
Well, the question that I would have for them is, I mean, outside of the fact that they would never actually do anything for family, is under the progressive ideology, under the presuppositions they already have, I mean, what would it be other than clown world, the inverse of tradition, where the man stays home and the woman works?
Yeah.
That appears to be all they would offer.
Or at best, nobody gives a shit about the kid. They go to a daycare somewhere and both parents work to pay for that.
Oh, I got you one better. A daycare run by the state. Boom.
Oh, of course, yes.
Well, yeah, we already have that. We already have public schools, Louis.
But but that's exactly what Bernie was arguing for in the Soviet Union.
Yep, exactly. There you go.
Right? Man, can I just read out some of just the regular chats that are going by? Because some of them are just spicy as anything, right? Kojo and Jeremy's. Children are underrepresented in the workforce. That's a good point, buddy. That's a good point. Because literally, what was the slogan above Auschwitz? What was the slogan above Auschwitz?
Work will set you free.
Yeah, that's the progressive slogan now. Women, you can only be set free by working.
Well, I will say that I did start working at the age of 15, and I'm not against people that are underage working. I do think that can build character.
I'm not saying they can't do things and earn some money, but it really is the attitude is not like it's good for you to earn a bit of money while you're at school, like on the weekend or something. It's women should be in the workforce all the time.
Yeah, that's true. Well, the default is that women should be white collar careerists. It's like a pathology.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's nuts. But anyway, let's carry on.
I got to pay for daycare. They have time off when they have kids. No, socialism just means that the government does a better job of taking care of its citizens.
Just pause it really quick.
He's defined it to where it is the way that he's defined it. It's basically socialism is the best example of this concept. And if it's not the best thing, then that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's such a squirrely definition.
Well, he says daycare. Okay, if both parents are working, you need daycare then.
State-run daycare.
Like he talks about daycare is a bad thing. Okay, yes, Jank, I agree. Who's going to stay home?
But
that's the fucking question, isn't it?
Listen to this last little bit here, though. This for me is the most telling bit, right? I think about here.
They're stunning successes. So, and you know what they have that we don't have? Great healthcare. You know what they have that we don't have? Daycare.
They don't have any investment in pharmaceuticals. They don't have any investment in pharmaceuticals. The United States, for all of our faults, we are the fucking world's leader in pharmaceutical research. In all the countries that have state healthcare, they just bank on us developing drugs for them.
Yeah. No, and this is a point that Yaron Brook makes quite convincingly as well. I mean, it's true. You know, at the end of the day, you've got a private industry. It's always pushing forward in order to make profits. There's an incentive there to keep discovering things that are useful to sell to people. Yes. It produces a lot of stuff. When you don't have that, you get this mentality here.
You don't have this impossible choice. Do I take care of my kids? Do I go to work? How can I possibly afford going to work if I got to pay for daycare?
Well, ideally, you don't have kids you can't take care of in the first place, so you're kind of already.
Well, yeah. Well, that would be ideal. But sorry, I went back too far. Just let's listen to this quick bit because it's amazing.
No, socialism just means that the government does a better job of taking care of its citizens.
Like the government is your fucking mum.
Yeah.
I don't want the government taking care of me, Jank. Why would I want that? Why would anyone want that? You would have to have the government in your life on a regular basis. I like to have as little interaction with it as possible.
I just don't understand, especially with him as a person that's running a company. Like, does he not provide healthcare for all of his employees?
I guess he must. One would assume.
You know, I'd be pretty surprised if that wasn't mandatory in fucking California to do.
And his own employees would unionize
with the issue of state healthcare. It's like, okay, well, do you need the state to provide healthcare? Don't you provide healthcare, Jank?
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's not even that. Like, it's literally the mindset. The government should care for you. No, because that is the same as the fascists, right? That is the ethical state.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
That is the state has to make things better. Well, we better ban alcohol then. That's not good for you, is it? Smoking, ooh.
Well, we're 2 steps shy in the United States.
I know.
We're getting close.
I know. You're going to raise the smoking age, aren't you?
That, and I think that some states they've been floating the idea of banning smoking.
Yeah. Yes.
And I honestly think the only reason in New York State we haven't done it is simply because they use smoking, the tax rate on smoking, for just a cash cow for the state.
Yeah. And then you get over to Europe and it's hate speech laws. Well, it's just not very nice to be racist, is it? Then it should be illegal. No, I should be free to be racist if I want. I don't want, but I don't think you should be able to lock me up for that, you know, or anyone, you know. I think that's too far. That's way too far. It's atrocious. Anyway, sorry. Let's carry on because that was just, for me, that really bothered me. Because the thing is, I don't really think that Cenk believes that. That's the thing. Like, I don't think that he thinks the state should be the daddy.
Yeah.
He's a business owner. I don't believe that he believes that.
I agree.
Rather than its donors. Mm-hmm. So, look, that's why I didn't love the answer because it's super important for him to defeat this ridiculous talking point where people are comparing democratic socialism to communism.
No, like
why
the Green New
that?
Deal.
Yeah.
The Green New Deal literally advocates for the direct government control over entire sectors of the US economy. But no, it's not communism.
No.
It's just state planning. That's different.
And it's worse because it's intersectional communism, so it's got all the racial justice shit in. And
so not only will the state control several different entire sectors of the U.S. economy, but they'll have forced diversity hiring.
Yeah, and mate, it'll be reparations. It will be reparations. It will be a stipend that white people pay to black people on a monthly basis, and there is no question of it. That's what it'll be. It'll be no end to it. It'll just carry on indefinitely. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
But it's not communism, so let's carry on.
Yeah.
And so there's
I was
real
gonna say,
communist.
Stop real quick.
Yeah.
Let's say that happens. Let's say that black people get a stipend from whatever companies, government. Do you think the FBI statistics will change?
Lou Levi's first speech in Congress.
I'm just going to say,
make up 13%.
One word before we go on. Despite.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay.
Now,
That's you, isn't it, Rags?
The country, and it's particularly online, and some of them will watch this and hate me for it. But it's sorry, but I don't agree with communism, and Bernie Sanders doesn't agree with communism.
Okay, right. I'd really like to be able to ask him why. Why in principle? What principally is wrong with communism, Cenk? You know, don't just say, "Oh, I don't like the bad thing." You know, tell me why. Tell me why. What wouldn't it be nice if no one had to own anything or work for the living? Wouldn't it be nice, Cenk? Wouldn't it be lovely if we just all had to? We're able to do this, that, and the other. And you know, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez will go, "Of course, that'd be nice." So of course she thinks that. Of course she thinks that human beings don't need boundaries, right? Okay. But I don't think Cenk thinks that. I just want him to tell me why, and then he can start unraveling all of his bollocks.
So that's a different thing.
Even that you agree with it or don't agree with it, they're two different things. So to try to commingle them and make them the same thing, but you know,
isn't commingle?
It occurs to me that no one at the Young Turks knows anything about politics.
Yeah. They don't. I mean, they legitimately think that socialism is in fact distinct from communism, even though it's the prerequisites.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, right? Marx wanted a worldwide revolution of the proletariat, take over, rise up, workers rise up, and take
communism was the end result.
Yeah, take over the means of production, which means the dictatorship of the proletariat controls the state and controls all of the means of production, anything that can make money, basically, in the entire state. And then for some reason, the state would wither away, although I've always been really hazy on why the state would wither away. And it's only because I never felt like I got an adequate answer from a communist. I don't recall reading it in a book about it. And
I
there's
guess
no
it's
incentive to do it.
It's the same reasoning. It's the same reasoning of anarcho-capitalists. It's just like we all agree, therefore.
Yeah.
Like that appears to be the reasoning for why it would disappear.
But you know why they all agree, right?
Because they killed all the people that disagree?
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. They shot everyone who disagreed.
Yeah, I was like, well, in anarcho-communism, well, you've already built everything on the idea that you live in the society you're trying to create.
Yeah.
You skipped about 12,000 steps.
But absolutely.
You skipped the massacres and the upheaval of society.
Yeah.
Well, I actually talked about this earlier in a commentary that may never go up, but I recorded it. That they'll talk about democracy and they'll sing the song of whatever they think that you want to hear up until the point you're on your knees and they got a gun to the back of your head. That's when they'll drop the facade of fucking any of this being for anything other than their control over the state and therefore over society.
Well, if they don't have complete control over all of this, it's not like it's going to do it itself, is it?
Yeah.
You know, people start doing other things, counter-revolutionary forces, comrade. But the point is that for some reason the state would wither away, as Marx described it, and we'd be left in this perfect stateless society where no one had to worry about food or anything like that. And it's like, okay, that's not going to happen. You know, that's an obviously dumb suggestion because you get to the fascist takeover of society and it doesn't go any further. There's no particular incentive to it. And this is why the fascists literally were like, socialism is a dead doctrine. We're the fascists now. We're totalitarians. Honestly, I just feel that fascism is an honest version of socialism at this point. Like, they're just like, yeah, we're just going to take it over.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree.
Yeah. I've been thinking about it a lot, and I've done a lot of studying on socialism, fascism, and liberalism just to, get a good feel for what they all are about. And I'm at the point where it's like, no, fascism, unironically, is an evolution. It's an inevitable evolution from an Enlightenment philosophy of socialism. It's the obvious child of socialism, and socialism is also the obvious child of liberalism. Just so you know, I'm not saying that liberalism's perfect and has done nothing wrong, although it is perfect and did nothing wrong. But it's all there in the sort of substructure of the Enlightenment, and you can see it, and it's just the honest thing. It's like, look, we've got the state, we've perfected the political science of the state, so we may as well let the state do everything, because the state can then make the world perfect. And it just so happens that every fucking time anyone's tried this, they've fucked it up monumentally and millions have died. Weird, that, isn't it?
I guess it also depends on, in terms of fucking up, what the actual goal was for the people in charge.
Whatever the fuck they liked, because they were totalitarian.
Exactly.
Like, what are we gonna do?
It worked out pretty well for Kim Jong-un. It worked, or Il, I should say, or whoever his father was. and people like the Castro brothers in Cuba worked out pretty well for them.
Yeah. There are some real success stories. Worked out great for Bernie too. Anyway, let's go.
We talked about this before, coming from Miami, where there's so many Cubans that come from Cuba that they use this as a trigger to scare them and say, look what they're trying to do here. But
why? Stop. Why? Why are they scared? Why? What are they scared of?
Yeah. What? All these Cubans who are like, whoa, you're not implementing
They got
socialism,
healthcare in Cuba. They got healthcare in Cuba. What are you talking about?
How great their hospitals are.
They're sending doctors all over the world.
Venezuela. They're sending doctors to Venezuela because that's another great example of socialism. Fucking. Oh God.
I wonder why the Cubans that are in Florida are scared beyond reason of socialism. I wonder why.
Listen,
why are they risking their lives to cross an ocean?
Listen, I'll have you know that I heard from Jeremy Corbyn that Fidel Castro was a champion of social justice. Quote. So don't give me that socialist phobic rhetoric. Thank you very much.
Well, at any point did Castro murder some Englishmen? Is that the reason why he was so in love with
yeah, that is a great question. And I'll have to look that up for the Jeremy Corbyn live show I'm going to do, because literally I'm going to go through.
Because he was, I believe, filmed murdering some people. Were any of them Englishmen? Is that why? Is that the difference maker?
I don't know. I mean, I'm going to have to look it up, because literally, if that were the case, it wouldn't be surprising.
I mean, I know why he likes the IRA.
Yeah. Oh, mate, fuck me. I hate Jeremy Corbyn. Jeremy, you can't just support terrorists. I don't care how fair you're trying to be.
Can't just support terrorists. That's where you're wrong, kiddo.
Yeah, right. Oh, so here's the thing, right? So I had a conversation with a sympathizer of the Christchurch shooter in Bristol today.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. It's going to be a very interesting thing to upload. And I was very clear to say, look, we do not agree.
Did he actually put his face on camera?
Yes. And,
man.
Yeah, I know. But the point...
I wouldn't advocate that ever, man.
Well, no, Jesus, obviously. I wouldn't advocate fucking supporting a terrorist for starters.
Right. For starters, yes. But
Unless
I mean, in your country, coming out and saying that on camera, bro, that's insane.
Yeah. He wasn't.
I guess he's not really thinking in his right mind.
Maybe I'm putting it too strongly. I don't think I'd say a supporter, a sympathizer. Maybe. I think is a better way of putting it. Sorry, but no, not okay. Fine. That's still really bad.
No, but what I'm saying is that
but
the point is that I don't think that he's thinking in his right mind, and I hope you did your best to walk him back from the fucking edge.
Well, that was exactly the point of the conversation. It was like, look, I'm, obviously, I don't want you doing anything like this. This is the total opposite of what I advocate. I'm a Democrat. I'm a liberal. I'm firmly committed to the democratic process, and there is no excuse for political violence. Absolutely none. The only excuse is if the government's about to fucking shoot you. You know what I mean? Partisan violence. No, it doesn't matter who the side is. There is no justification for partisan violence. That's what we have laws for. No further discussion needed in that regard, in my opinion. But I talked to him because I wanted to be humane to him. I like this guy. He was a sympathizer. He wasn't like a terrorist himself. He just understood why the guy did it. And it's like, okay, so why do you feel this way? And he was literally like, well, this and this and this. And I was like, so if this were happening, would you feel better? Well, yeah, I'd feel a lot more concerned or less concerned. And just to try and explain to people what these people are actually thinking, rather than just saying, evil, quick burn him, because that doesn't make any people less radical. I think that makes things worse. And so I really think we have to have these dialogues, even as tough as they are. But like I said, I basically was just like, mate, don't ever fucking do anything stupid, because that's my career, isn't it? So, now you have an obligation to me. I've talked to you about it. I've given you a platform for your views. I don't agree with you, but I'm not gonna sit here going at you, because it wouldn't be productive. You are on your fucking honor now, not to do anything crazy.
I've already said it on my own channel, but if you have any kind of crazy, violent thoughts going through your head, why not take that emotion, take that the time investment and the money investment, and instead actually dedicate yourself to actually changing the system using politics?
Yeah.
I just don't really like a lot of the nihilist thought, because it's incredibly lazy and ridiculous, because it's like, I'm going to go through all this meticulous planning. I'm going to spend all this money and spend all this time. Okay, you could have just done the exact same thing, except for you could have done it in politics.
Yeah.
You know, write a check to a politician. They'll call you.
So someone said, mate, do not show his face. Well, he agreed to show his face, right? Because he'd already been arrested for posting about this, right?
Oh, Jesus.
And it went viral
That's
in the UK.
not going to help the fucking situation.
Yeah, exactly. It went viral in the UK, right? So I don't think he's looking to censor himself because he is already a known person here, right? And I honestly think that these people probably are scared rather than anything else. And I think that we can we don't have to agree with them. We just have to just not hate them. I don't think we should just hate them. And I don't think we should just hate anyone. I don't just hate Muslims or terrorists or, I didn't just hate Shamima Begum. I sat there with Shamima Begum and made the argument, look, she is a British citizen and she would be stateless. We can't just remove her citizenship. And I think we have an obligation to treat terrorists like criminals and not enemy combatants, because that legitimizes them in what they were doing. Oh, well, you have a cause. No, you're a criminal, right? You killed a bunch of people.
I would say that I've thought about that issue, especially with the issue of citizenship revocation. I think that's basically like what is it? Eminent domain, like where the state seizes property. Yeah. That's like, whoa, that's the state getting pretty loosey-goosey with the fucking laws and citizenship, and like the foundation of why the state even exists. But the reason why I see two sides of it is, by revoking citizenship, they can hope they're hoping the state and the permanent bureaucracy, they're hoping to just shove it under the rug and not deal with it. That's the reason why they did it, in my view. Because I honestly think, and this is the other side of it, in your current system, the way that how fucked up it is, she could come back and get totally let off of everything.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's going to radicalize a few.
Yeah. Literally, don't treat Muslims as the victims of terrorist attacks done by Muslims in Sri Lanka. That is something that pisses off like the hard right. If you're, these kind of people, that's something that pisses them off. They notice that, and it was reported on. Do you guys see all the news articles where they're going like, oh, the alt-right are taking a remarkable interest in the Sri Lanka church bombings? It's like, you're saying that they're compassionate. Like, don't say, that's not a bad thing to be concerned about a bunch of people who got blown up. Like, fuck me, man.
Yeah, it was only a couple hundred people.
Yeah.
It was only a couple hundred people.
That's insane. And the thing is, that's quadruple the number from Christchurch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Staggering.
I mean, that's just to put it into scale.
And not to mention all the people that were injured.
But this is quadrupled the deaths, not even getting into the, what was it, 600?
Yes, 600 injured.
600 injured.
That's the current estimate.
I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
The scale of that. Imagine 600 injured people. And don't even think about the 200 dead at this point. Just 600 people. You can't even fathom that many people.
You can imagine how afraid Muslims are at this point, obviously.
Right.
Seriously, though, it is really annoying. But yeah, anyway, spicy videos, spicy conversations that I was having today with people, man. And a guy who detransitioned from being trans. No, yeah, mate, this was a good one.
I saw you post. Did you actually talk to him on video? I saw you post it.
Yeah. This was another good one, right? And again, like to explain why, why he personally did it. And I think it's probably representative of quite a few. And he thinks it is because he's in that community. And it's just like, ooh, I'm going to get a lot of trouble for all of these fucking videos, but I am going to post them anyway because
I think that one is definitely worth it. Like, I understand the question of the guy and the people in the chat saying you ought to blur his face. I'm going to leave you, leave it up to you to make that determination for your content, especially because this guy agreed to be on, filmed.
Yeah.
But in terms of the person that detransitioned, especially with all how fucked up things are with LGBT culture at the moment, I would absolutely post that video.
Oh, I'm gonna post them all because I want. And the thing is, the whole point is to have a good faith dialogue, right? It's not to say I agree with this or anything like that. It's just to say, look, we need to have difficult conversations like these ones. That's the point. Because these are where the rubber is really meeting the road in terms of like the contradictions that we have to endure, and we really I mean, like, You know, what they should be doing is getting the head teacher of that Birmingham school and then the Muslim protester who said you can't be gay and Muslim on just sit literally opposite each other and explain each other's position. That should happen, but it's not going to happen. You know, it's not going to happen. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, watch out for what's coming up on my main channel probably tomorrow morning because, man, I got some interesting stuff coming. Anyway, let's carry on with the Young Turks blithering on about stuff they don't understand.
Smug when she asked that question. That question came from, I know this, I know that. My family escaped the framing with the whole fear.
I don't care if your family died, you smug bitch.
Listen, TYT, why are you doubting the lived experiences of a woman?
No, fuck her. She's a smug bitch. Shut up, bitch. I don't care how many of your family members died. Your father owned a business and lost it all. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
Socialism's good, Louis. You need to learn this.
You need to learn what you're talking
You learn what you... Yeah, you might have experienced it, but you need to fucking learn what you're talking about.
I didn't even
These people are fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, we had to flee for our lives. So learn what you're talking about.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, bitch.
Imagine being that arrogant.
Oh, okay.
Oh, God.
About before you go out in front of America on camera and ask a question from such a arrogant place when you're sorely misinformed.
Oh my God!
Yeah, Jesus Christ. TYT's like, they're a parody of themselves and they don't know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't.
Her father, who escaped from Cuba, is so arrogant to speak on communism.
Well, he's because he's one of the ones who got away.
Yep.
In fact, it's kind of his fault that communism failed, if you think about it. Like, Jesus. The whole thing is just, this is totally inverted to how I see the world. Like, totally inverted. As far as I'm concerned, the TYT are the sort of clown world version of the real world, you know?
Yeah.
Only going through something, it's something, it gives you a sense of why you came to the position that you did. But it doesn't mean that you're right.
Right.
Like, oh, my dad told me this. And who's your dad?
Yeah.
Why do I care?
He's a fucking liar. Don't believe him.
He only escaped from Cuba.
Don't believe these old assholes who escaped from it.
The communists oppressed me. Shut the fuck up, Dad. You don't know.
I had to carry you across the ocean in my arms to escape it. But what do I know?
Yeah, well, I talked to this middle-class faggot from San Francisco who says socialism is good. Shut the fuck up, Dad.
Socialism is good.
Don't be so arrogant, Dad. What do you know?
Dad, hold, one sec. I was going to make one more joke. Dad said the Armenian genocide was real. Shut the fuck up, Dad.
Yeah, Chink said that shit never happened.
Chink knows what he's talking about.
Cutting close to the bone here, man.
I care. And so, I tell you the story about my dad, about how he was a farmer, had no opportunity, etc. Well, not to say that my dad's right about everything. It's to say that's why I'm a progressive, because we got a chance, and I want you to have a chance.
My dad's right because he was progressive. Your dad's fucking wrong because he ran away from communism.
Exactly.
It's so stupid. This is like a fake human. Chink is like a robot or like an alien wearing human skin who doesn't quite have a grasp of how politics really works, and he's trying to fit in.
Honestly, I kind of feel like he's been taken over by a cult, right? Like look at the face. You know, I think he's been indoctrinated into it because it just doesn't make sense what he's saying. It's like, oh, my dad was a piss poor Turkish immigrant who didn't have a chance in Turkey, so he came to America and made it big, you know, or
and now I'm a millionaire guy.
Yeah. And I want you to have that chance.
But capitalism's failed us.
Yeah, exactly. I want you to have that chance, and in order for you to have that chance, we have to change the system. It's like, why? If it's that system that allowed that to happen, why don't we just carry on with that system? Call me radical.
Yeah, well, big.
But
it's because he already has his. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. He has his, and other people don't. And he's like, yeah. And the thing is, it's not helping them out. It's not helping them. It's not giving them the tools they need to get up. It's pulling up the fucking ladder. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I hate about mass immigration. It's a way of pulling up the ladder, and I really, it's such a class attack. You know, you can look at it through lots of different lenses and see it as a class attack as well in many different ways. like morally, economically, all this sort of stuff. You can look at and you can see it. And I mean, like, look at what they do to Tommy Robinson, right? He's like, look, we have suffered at the hands of Muslim immigration to Britain. That's Tommy's contention, right? And they're like, no, you just hate Muslims. And it's like, right, okay. You are telling us we are not actually suffering. No, you just hate Muslims. So you're not going to do anything. No, in fact, we're going to censor you because we don't like you. And it's all class. It's all class.
The thing that I can't... I absolutely agree. And I think you talked to that guy, whatever it was, earlier today or yesterday, the guy that... the guy in the black shirt that was like the soy boy.
The Remainer guy,
Remainer guy, that's right. And he brought up Tommy Robinson a few times, and I noticed that like you kept basically just conceding what he was saying just to get to the point. But it was like he just had like this irrational hatred for Tommy Robinson. It's like let's just take the contention he hates Muslims. Okay, let's just say that's true. Why? What's his reasoning? Why?
He's just like the Burmese, man. He just fucking hates them. He's just like the Chinese. He just fucking hates them. Everyone just hates Islam for some reason. I don't even know what the reason is. It's mysterious. No one will ever answer it. Everyone's a bigot, frankly. The world is Islamophobic. I don't know how we live with ourselves.
To me, it's just a matter of like, I question, like, I understand like why logically they just say that and they don't think about it for the sake of like dehumanizing their enemy or who they view as their enemy. But the question is it a matter of they're doing that intentionally for the sake of it justifies that much more the conduct and the actions they take against him, all the horrific things they've done to him?
Yeah.
Like, is it a matter of just in their own mind justifying the actions they've taken against him?
I've had to talk about him quite a few times, and literally they'll say, well, they'll like I don't think it's in the actual interviews, but it's when I'm arguing with the protesters who are standing around, right? And they will literally say things like, well, Tommy's a racist. And I'm like, no, he's not. And they're like, of course he is. Oh, Tommy's a fascist. No, he's not. And it's like, look, they won't even discuss with me the content of the argument. It's a declarative sort of point of principle that Tommy has to be a fascist. And if you don't agree with that, then essentially it's like saying, well, we're going to start a conversation. We'll start with the baseline. We're not going to eat a baby. And you're like, well, I can't agree to that. That's how they see it.
He really comes across as like, and I don't mean to be cliche, but he comes across as like the subject of the 2 minutes of hate. Like it's just they proclaim him to have an irrational hatred, but it seems to me that the people that hate Tommy are irrationally hating of him. That's how
it's all projection, man. Like, and don't get me wrong, right? I am sure that Tommy is like has said things. I actually don't know of any of these things. But there probably have been times where Tommy has said things that are broad generalizations, right, about Muslims. I mean, we're doing it now, right? And so if someone was like, you said this thing, you'd be like, okay, well, Colton, look, let me give you a detailed breakdown, right? And I'm sure Tommy would do the same thing. But the pressure that has been on him has been honestly inhumane. The things that they've done to him, the mental torture they're trying to do to him is really bad. I'm just thinking, man, if that were me, it would be awful. I mean, like, I have got The Guardian printing my exact words today or yesterday. That is fine because they're like, oh, look at this horrible misogynist. Look, he said that feminism was bad for men. It's like, yes. Like, I own this.
I'm just going by the conviction rate in that.
Yeah, exactly, right. I'm just going by the suicide rate. Jess Phillips. You know what I mean? It's I think it is. I think it is bad for men. And I will happily have that argument. But with Tommy, like, they if you can't accept that he's a racist, then they can't talk to you. And it's like, okay, let's finish this.
Right. He got a free college education that catapulted us. And I want you to have that same opportunity. God. So it informs me. But that doesn't mean my dad is definitely right about, student loan debt.
My stepfather either, because my stepfather is from Cuba and he got arrested for riding a bike on the wrong side of the street. So when he hears...
So he doesn't know anything about communism when he had to flee it. Jesus.
Communism, he gets nervous, but we have socialism in America.
Exactly.
America is basically a socialist country. What are you so scared of?
I love how America supposed to be the most like boot on the neck capitalist hellhole on earth, but also at the same time, it's also kind of socialistic, you know?
It's very progressive in America.
Oh, man. I love it. It's so
amazing.
stupid.
So
it gets
what
worse.
Bernie calls for is socializing, things that should be basic human rights.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
There we go.
Oh, no.
I told you, I watched this video, right? I was taking a shit, and I just put on this video thinking this will be funny.
But by the way, Sargon, I'm going to use this as a point of contention with you. I understand that it's a different circumstance, but this is why I hate the fucking word human rights. Because it can be used to justify anything. Anything.
Man, a human right is whatever nice thing is in the front of a socialist's mind.
Yes, yes.
Like, oh, that sounds nice. Yeah, having a lion should be a human right.
What I love about this too is that somebody said something earlier in the chat about talking with like Kyle Kalinske or another one of these fuckers, and I would just enter the situation where it's like, yeah, I believe in subsidies too. I believe we should have public subsidies for firearms. I think we should have every household in America with at least 7 firearms.
7's a good start.
It only costs a couple $100 million, I think, to have that done because
That's nothing.
Yeah, because how many families already have a firearm in the house? Who already have 7?
Yeah. I mean, I'll just take.
And now, what I'm going to say to them is, okay, give me the principled argument against that. I think it's a human right. Give me the principled argument against it.
And what you're doing is guaranteeing access to this right. That's what you're doing. That's the way they'll frame it. Is you're securing it, and this is legitimately a problem, right? In regards to neutral and impartial law. That's why we provide lawyers to poor people who can't afford lawyers, right? The state does that because we are concerned about the state of justice in the country. And if poor people can't afford lawyers to represent themselves, then they are probably financially locked out of justice. And that is unfair. If you want to have a society that's free and with a, common law, you do have to be able to give people access to the law. And so, that is something the state has to do. It's not socialism. It's liberalism. It's not it's not big government stuff. It's like the bare minimum to actually have the thing that you want to have. Otherwise, you have a 2-tiered system, And you don't want that.
Well, it's also the difference between
it's
a
not
subsidy towards something and a right.
Yes.
This is the thing that I like. There are very few actually enumerated rights, and there's a reason. There's an actual reason.
Yeah. And just for anyone wondering,
when you have.
Sorry, go on. Yeah, no, you go ahead. I'll finish.
I was going to say, when you actually enumerate a right, that requires government action in response.
Yeah, your rights are inherent to your person. It requires an outside force to deprive you of your rights. Everything else is either a liberty or an entitlement.
Yep.
Like literally, that's what our rights are. That's what liberties are. That's what And so, healthcare is an entitlement. Yes, you are at liberty to go and get yourself some food, or work for food, or whatever. Yes, of course you are. Food is not actually a human right.
Yep.
You can't make it a human right because, if you're stuck in a forest with no food or something, you can't just sit there stamping your foot. Well, I have a right to food. Good for you.
You can make it a guaranteed entitlement from the government, but good luck not having your fucking entire agriculture industry collapse.
Well, that's Bernie Sanders' breadlines.
Yeah.
That's literally what Bernie Sanders' breadlines fucking is. So it's just like, okay, And
honestly, though, in relation to many of the things that progressive offer, even in regards to education and that sort of thing, as far as I can tell, education in the United States is a government problem. And the answer is more government? I don't know. We've been trying that for more than I've been.
You sounded pretty Republican there, Louis.
It doesn't seem to be working. That's my point.
I agree.
Well, the thing is, there are good public schools. I went to one. But the fact is that it would be different if I lived in a fucking inner city with communist teachers unions running it.
Absolutely. Right, let's carry on. Because honestly, we are just over halfway, and it gets worse. We've arrived at Bernie. Bernie didn't support the Soviet Union, even though we've got all the evidence that he did. Socialism isn't about socialism. It's about Northern Europe, which is capitalist. So we've redefined socialism to be capitalist, and it turns out now that America is a socialist country. So let's carry on.
Oh, mission
So
accomplished.
healthcare, he wants to socialize healthcare. And healthcare to some extent is already socialized. I mean, you have Medicaid,
and
you
how
have
is it
Medicare.
working? And how is it working?
It's
How
doing
is it
great,
working?
mate. It's doing great. And in Europe, we've got no problems with it either. No problems at all anywhere. And especially when and again, I hate to bring back the mass immigration argument, but it's nothing to do with that either. So shut up, you bigots.
My real quick before you go on, in regards to your healthcare system, and I understand that there's a little bit of a cultural difference here, and I know that you still stand by it, but can you tell me a time in which your government system for healthcare is not starving for more money?
Yeah, before the Tony Blair years.
So one time ever?
No. Like since, what was it? I can't remember. It was like just after World War II. It was under Attlee. I can't remember the... Well, no. No.
It's because hundreds of thousands of people didn't come back.
Well, no. That's when it was brought in, right? And I'm sure that it really wasn't perfect, but every time the Conservatives are doing a budget now, like the last time they added something like 20 billion for the NHS, and it's like, right, okay, listen, right. There's obviously something that's causing this massive jump in spending for this, because I mean, like, you know, you can chart it, and if you look at the chart, it's going up, and then it gets to like the Tony Blair years, and it goes up because there's a lot of mass immigration. He's the one who started mass immigration. It's something we need to stop. It's untenable. Like Milton Friedman was right on this question. You can't have a social security state and mass immigration. It's just logically untenable.
Yeah.
You know? There's no question. And I just want to read...
Especially because new immigrants, they're not paying fuck all into the system.
Yeah, they didn't support the system that they've come into. So if you get millions of them, then you've got a system that is being paid for by people who are receiving benefits from it, who didn't contribute. So it's on the backs of the people who did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, it sounds more and more like an aristocratic class when you start putting it this way, doesn't it?
Well, the question that I have is... I think to some degree, there are people on the right specifically that support mass immigration and strain on the system simply because they want it to collapse. They want the healthcare system and that sort of thing in your country more specifically to collapse.
So you think Ben Shapiro is actually secretly working against government healthcare?
Yes.
I just want to read out a super chat by Zakun quickly. Look at Korea. USSR installed Chinese speaker Kim Il-sung, leader of the Workers' Party in the north. USA held democratic elections in the south. Almost exactly the same geography, culture, and support, and race as well. But support from... And I include race for people who are like, race is always the answer. No, look. Political systems matter, okay? And but yeah, anyway. Culture and support from economic superpowers, completely different quality of life. Yeah. And still, you know, to this day, like, Chad Pollock, I thought I'd stop by and leave an $80 donation. That's a $20 donation. $60 is a lot.
What's the rest of
it? He got me. He fucking got me. I wasn't reading ahead. Okay, hello, Goy. I thought I'd stop by and leave an $80 donation to thank you for your good work. $60 is a lot of money in this economy, so put it to good use. I hope this modest $40 can be of use in your campaign. Godspeed. Then he sends me $20. Okay, man, that was funny. I'm not gonna lie, that was funny. Right, let's carry on.
That is a product of socialism. And so, look, it's a failure of our education. It's a failure of our media.
Stop. What's the problem, Anna? Oh, state education. What's the solution? State education. Oh, thank you. Because it's not like she's in favor of private education.
It's a failure of education, Louis.
It's a failure of education. Okay.
The government's education. We need more government.
How long? How many decades? How many generations? American education fucking garbage. By your own admission. What is the solution? The exact same fucking system.
The government is taking care of its citizens, though. You just need to let the government take care of you.
Taking care of them, all right.
Where we continuously allow people to make the mistake of confusing communism with socialism.
I wonder why they do.
It's also a failure of our media and our education for not revealing the great success of socialist programs in...
Honestly, I think I'm gonna fucking piss myself. Like, the great success of... Okay, sorry, Karen.
You know, the European countries that you just mentioned, Cenk. Like, that is, again...
Literally, Romanian comes on. Man, the Soviet Union fucked my country so hard. The culture of the people now is distrustworthy, and we can't seem to make ends meet. We're a poor country. We go to a better country, and suddenly we become better people. And she sat here fucking talking about the fucking successes of socialism. Like if I wasn't laughing at it, I'd be crying at it, man. It's harrowing to think of the damage that's done.
All of these people who've never lived in socialist or communist countries are always the ones who praise them.
Yeah.
Like it's so weird.
The guy who fled it, he's terrified.
What I would love to know is that, like, if you want to live in a collectivist socialistic shithole, like, why don't you just move to France and enjoy it? Why don't you just move to, like, most of Europe? Why don't you get the fuck out of this country?
That's a really
I've said it before. I've been meaning to do it for a long time, but I want to do a commentary and just go through all the beliefs of progressives, just all the beliefs that they posit, and ask, what of any of these beliefs do you have in common with the concept of like American values?
Yeah, they don't.
What actually do you believe that actually fits within the boundaries of like the U.S. Constitution?
American values are like individualistic liberal values.
Yes.
These are collectivist socialist values. They are
Yes.
not. They are the inverse, the direct inverse of the the values America was founded on.
That would be the big question for people that asked earlier in the chat. Like, one of the big questions that I've asked these people: if your beliefs are so antithetical to that of the United States, why don't you leave?
Yeah.
Why don't you leave this fucking country?
Because, there's a big border wall separate. Oh, no, wait, that's the other way. You're not allowed in because it's so great. Not that you can't get out because it's shit. That's what the socialists did. Sorry, my mistake.
Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah, exactly. It's not that you can't fucking leave, all right? You people are begging to get into capitalist countries. It's insane how they can think.
Well, they're not even begging. They're basically,
risking their lives,
floating on shitty rafts and washing ashore dead just to make it here.
Mate, literally, that it's happening in the Mediterranean. Like just across the sea on boats. Hundreds are dying, and all this sort of shit. And it's like, man, we could give you a book on how to run a country or something. Maybe we could send an advisor. Like, right, okay, we're going to stop putting our hands in the till, everyone.
Well, I've already said to you and you can feel free to disavow, but I think that it should remain that should be considered anyways from people that are British.
Disavow.
Restart the empire.
Disavow.
I'm just saying, if there's so many countries that are having so many problems, I'm just saying, let the British sort it out the way that they used to.
Pre-disavow.
If the issue with socialism is that it hasn't been done right yet, then let's just apply that rule to empires and say that we just haven't done the empire right yet. But this time we get it perfect.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
And if the British don't step up, then in my opinion, that the United States has to.
Do you want to know something really funny?
Go ahead.
More people in Jamaica than not think that Jamaica was ruled better by the British.
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
That's actually true. There was a survey done. Something like 63% of Jamaicans were like, yeah, things were actually better under the British. And it's like,
Well, I mean, I would say I would go there if I were a politician. I'd go to Jamaica and I'd say, especially if I was British, and I would say, listen, guys, let's hold a referendum. Let's have a referendum. Do you want to become a vassal state of the United Kingdom once again?
Disavow.
We be making Jamaica great again, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Just disavow. Just.
I'm just saying that it would be a beautiful, where every flagpole, except for the United States anyways, has a British flag on top and then the state flag underneath. I'm just saying, think about it.
All I'm saying is that would be a rapid expansion of hate speech laws across the world, so...
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
And then I guess we're going to have to default to American imperialism.
No, because you guys suck at ruling other countries.
Kind of.
That's true. That's true.
No, we're doing pretty well on a couple.
Not really. You don't have ex-colonies begging to come back, okay?
Well, I would say the only one technically is Puerto Rico, and they might eventually get statehood, and I rue the day they did.
Well, mate, we keep giving parts of Britain independence referendums, and they keep voting no. It's really weird.
It's like, go away.
Yeah.
I don't want to go.
And they're like, no, we're fine.
So, I just think that most of that's based on fucking white guilt.
Could be right. Let's. Sorry,
go ahead.
Sorry. Before we
they're
carry
the ones voting no. What do you want me to say? They're voting.
Before we, if I get elected, I'll just push a button and reform the British Empire, and it'll all just flip over. Trudeau will be kicked out of office. The Queen's eyes will start glowing, and then order will be restored to the world. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Well, would it be a bad thing if you activated the Queen at this point and dissolved Parliament? Would it be a bad thing?
No, it'd be wonderful. It would mean I can have a lion tomorrow.
Maximilian, unfurl the sails.
Maximilian? That's a German name. Admittedly, she is German descent.
He's a fucking plant. It's a spy.
Oh my god, the Germans are just everywhere.
Of knowledge,
they are.
And that's not to say anything negative about.
What's the most British name? Reginald.
That's pretty British. John, actually, something like that.
Yeah, John. I was gonna say.
It's gonna be something really, something really common like that. It's not a bad name or anything. It's just a very common name.
The electorate, it's to say something negative about our society as a whole, where people are just easily persuaded that socializing medicine would lead to like the new Soviet era. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
No one thinks it is going to be the socialized medicine that's the problem.
Putting down this one brick won't make a pathway.
Yeah, and if we put down another brick and another brick.
I've talked to a lot of older boomer Republicans, even some in my own family, and I just basically I drill down exactly what the reason is, other than not like platitudes talking points, but like why aren't you in favor of like socialized medicine? And the answer is I already have medicine. I already have a job. I already have a career. I already have savings. Like they don't need it. They don't need it. They don't want it, and they don't want what they already have interfered with.
I don't know why progressives can't do things on a donation basis. Voluntary, if you want to run a government program, right? Why could you not have just a voluntary opt-in program system?
They actually that used to be an idea they floated once upon a time to buy into Medicare. I'm not exactly sure what happened with that, but I don't think it was a viable system anyways.
Yeah, but then you'd have social rewards for doing it, It'd be like in ancient Rome where some, aristocratic family, one of the members would have a great victory somewhere and then build a baths in a city or something, at his expense. He'd build this magnificent thing for people to use and it'd have his name on it, It would be very similar in this regard, So, you've got the Zuckerberg Hospital in bloody San Francisco and stuff like this, but it'd be on a wider scale across the country. Maybe even in the poor areas where they actually might need something like that, Mr. Zuckerberg. Just so you know, the Zuckerberg Hospital's in California,
Yeah, what's one of the things I can't really stand, especially about Google, man. Google spends just so much money on so much like internationalist bullshit.
Yeah.
They don't spend a goddamn penny in the United States on activism.
Yeah.
Or on like philanthropy in the United States that is basically organized, like some kind of activist organization like NGO. They don't do anything in the United States as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, so Beaker in the chat is just like, progressives don't donate money unless it belongs to someone else. Yeah, they never expect to be donating their own money. That's what it is. They do not have the fortitude to do it. But anyway, let's get on because it's almost 3:30 in the fucking morning now. Jesus.
Yeah, look, the more we talk about it, the more I don't love Bernie's answer. This is the one you really got to be strong on because this is the thing that they're using as to bludgeon you with. Propaganda, not just the right wing, but the corporate media is. Everybody keeps throwing out like, socialist. This country will never elect a socialist. Hey, idiot, why don't you define it first?
Yeah.
You have never, ever defined it. And so it drives me crazy. Look,
oh my God.
I know.
Of all the fucking things to say.
I know. And his definition is capitalism.
Yeah.
He's just demanding capitalism in this country. And so, but the thing is, right, there is a distinction to be made here, because you could argue that America is not just a capitalist country, it's a neoliberal country, as in free movement of capital and people in addition to goods and services. Don't get me wrong, Cenk, if you want to go back to like just the free movement of goods and services, I am totally down for that. I think that's a healthy form of capitalism. So I think that's what we should do. You know, I don't think free movement of capital and people is actually as beneficial as people might think it is. At least in the majority of the country.
We need free shit. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Free quote unquote free shit.
Yeah.
You want to talk about dads? Listen, one more story about my
free.
Sorry?
I want free movement of stuff into my fucking pockets.
Hey, I want $1,000 a month from Andrew Yang. I love the way they're framing
it. Really move things into my bank account.
Andrew Yang is going to give you $1,000. No, he's not. No, he's
Fuck
not.
Andrew Yang.
I like him though. He really does seem nice. Like, he seems lovely. He's just got, I mean, the thing is, it's not like he's not trying to address a problem that will exist, but it's just not his fucking money.
My dad. He's driven out of Turkey partly by militant communists.
Oh my god! Like,
why would a communist need to be militant?
Why did Anna's family leave Armenia? Like, were they also driven out by socialists or communists? Like, is everyone on that panel the descendant of people who fled socialism and are literally going, yeah, okay.
Seriously.
Like, the fucking irony is unbelievable in this. And this is why, I was watching this on the I was just cracking up. I was like, no fucking way. I sent you it the other day. You must have missed it. Like, I sent you it going, look, you would not fucking believe this video. It is unreal. You're fucking unreal. And Hassan Piker is now unironically a fucking revolutionary communist.
I do know that.
It's just insane.
Okay, so here's a guy who had nothing, started his own company after he got a free education, became a mechanical engineer.
Oh my fucking
Starting your own company, that's not very progressive of you, comrade.
Oh my So that's two people. Two people on the panel have had parents believe from fucking communists.
Yeah. And be successful businessmen or whatever at the end of it, provide them with a future. And with this future, they want to go back to socialism.
My parents fled to the United States and made a life as faggots living in California. We need to change the system. We need a revolution.
It's unreal, isn't it?
From what? From freedom?
Well, if everyone who flees communism comes to our capitalist society, that makes it harder for all the people who flee from communism to make capitalist society work.
If you get your way and you radicalize the rest of can we feel free to throw you out of the country so you can make another fucking country a socialist shithole?
It's inevitable at this point.
There's, about 100 people, I believe, in that factory. And at the time, there's huge fights between the left and the right. And back then, there are militant communists.
He owned a factory.
Back then.
He fucking owned a factory. And you're a socialist. This is literally, like, there's a movie that's like a parody of socialism called, oh God, is it The Trotsky? I'm trying to remember the name of it. But it's just like a parody of socialists. Like, they're all middle-class douchebags. And the main character of the story, who believes himself to be the reincarnation of Trotsky, his father owns a factory and he, like, hates him. But he's, like, responsible for his entire comfortable life. And it's like, Jake's the same fucking guy.
Yep. And no, but Hassan's even worse as well. Because if it wasn't for Cenk, Hassan wouldn't even have a job.
Did his father own a factory?
Yeah. No. No, Hassan got his job through Cenk. And Cenk's father owns a factory, and he flees from communists. And now, like, we're back. It's not that he wants socialism. Cenk wants socialism. But Hassan wants, like, unironic, like, revolution of the proletariat. So he's gone for, it's literally generational. It's like, capitalist, soft socialist, radical communist.
If I wanted to troll the fuck out of Cenk, and if I was in Congress, I would try to pass a resolution that we would enact socialism in the United States, but the first company we would seize would be Cenk Uger's father's factory.
We've got like 2 minutes left,
okay.
and I'm not kidding, right? It gets better.
They threaten his life, and he comes to America. Does he then turn around and then go, okay, well, since that happened to me, I don't want you to get daycare.
What?
It says that happened to me from a totally different guy who has his own interpretation of what communism means. I don't.
Not true communism.
Oh my God, Jake. There's no way he means this. There's no way he means this.
Yeah. But he's fallen completely into the no true Islam fallacy. Like, it's just.
Oh my God.
It's
no true factory.
This is why I can't watch these. They're just too far gone.
They really are, like, too far gone is the only way I can describe it as well.
Dude, I could not imagine anyone being able to parry to this because like Steven Crowder, like when he used to do Cenk Uygur, like it was fairly dumb. And it was just making fun of his. It was making fun of his mannerisms mostly. Yeah. I would like to see Steven Crowder ever dare like do a straight-faced interpret like a mimicking and parody of Cenk. Like sit in front on his own studio and just straight up try to parody him. Try it. It's impossible. No one could do it.
He's saying this with a straight face, as if we're supposed to take it seriously. But sorry, well, let's we're not getting very far into it because every sentence is absurd.
I don't want your kid to get health care. That makes no sense.
That was your straw man, dumbass.
Yeah.
Like, you literally set up a ridiculous straw man and was like, that makes no sense. Yes, we know. The fact that you would even be able to articulate these words is nonsensical in itself, Cenk. Unbelievable.
He does not say that. Yeah. Is anybody on television going to clarify what socialism is?
Of course not.
Are you
not?
Are you Keek? Well, the thing is with people on television, they don't know. They don't know the people on television. They don't know. Useless idiots.
Well, actually, I mean, Cenk did. Cenk defined socialism as capitalism. So, does anyone on TV know what the... Right, yeah, sorry, the stream's just come back, so I'm just going to play that bit again. But man, for some reason, disconnected very briefly.
Department is socialist. The police department is socialist.
Oh, yeah,
the United States military is socialist.
Listen to that. The United States military is socialist. Just that line. The United States military is socialist. The police are socialist. The fire departments are socialist. The military.
I've met some soldiers and I've met some cops. They don't come across as socialists.
But no, the very institution of a state military in Cenk's mind is socialist. Like, it's just so dumb. I don't even know where to begin.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, literally the existence of the state is socialist. Therefore, we have socialism already. Yeah. What's the difference?
But no,
you can define anything into existence if you want. Why not?
But the thing is, right? The reason the reason that they have the term socialism is called socialism is because we literally distinguish between the state and society. The social parts. They are not the same thing. So saying that socialism, like anything the state does is socialism, is just definitionally wrong. Like, so it's just like, it's just like, you're just wrong. The state doing stuff is not by definition socialist. Cenk, you fucking fat idiot.
People in the chat are just naming things socialist. The air is socialist. The sun is socialist. I agree. The sun is socialist. It's just giving away all that energy for free.
Private property is socialist. Like, that's where we're at with Cenk now. Private property is a socialist idea.
Earth is socialist.
Socialism is pie in the sky, almost literally. Nice.
Oh god! Let's just listen to that again, just very briefly, because it's just incredible.
His own interpretation of what communism means. I don't want your kid to get health care. That makes no sense. He does not say that. Is anybody on television going to clarify what socialism is?
Of course not.
What the fuck's happening?
Of course not.
Okay,
what are you talking about?
I'll pause it then.
Go on.
I just want to say, you know how you can get your kid health care? Get a fucking job. There, I said it.
Louis, you definitely are a right winger now, man. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Get a job. Well, if we had socialism, we could just give everyone a job.
Exactly.
So
No,
socialism is the cure for all ills.
No, it's even better. It's not that we can just give them a job. We can force them to have a job.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we control all the money. Like, dude, like, you don't understand the potential of this, but, oh, man.
Is anybody on television going to clarify what socialism is?
Of course not. Of course not. What are you talking about?
Look.
Anna, just total support there. Obviously, Cenk, we all agree. Everyone else is wrong. Literally everyone in the world, all of these academics, all of these Marxists, like all of Milton Friedman, Mises, Hayek, everyone in the world is wrong about socialism.
Retarded.
Except these three. Their parents who fled from socialism. Like, you know, the guys who invented socialism. Like, literally everyone is wrong. Unbelievable.
Siley in the chat just sent you a super chat. He says, I am socialism.
No, I am socialism.
Yeah, but
this is the Illuminati. TYT is actually Illuminati, and they run the world.
So Reginald McIntosh says, to be fair, the military does have socialized programs, and surprise, the government mucks them up. Anyone who served has had to get medical treatment to tell you this crap. Look, if the government does something, it's by definition state-run, so it's not social. It's not a socialist thing necessarily. It's the point of socialism is to eradicate private property. They don't want economic independence of the group.
It would be more socialistic if the armies would invade countries and literally the soldiers loot cities to pay for like the Veterans Administration.
Well,
like,
sure,
that would be socialistic.
Sure, but like the social aspect there, if it's wrong, I hate the term socialism. It's totally misleading anyway. But the whole fucking thing, right, is state institutions can do things. Right, they are not there to just take private property. That's the whole point. The whole point is economic domination, like control over the entire economy of a country that the state should have. That is not what the U.S. military is designed to do to the U.S. It's not socialist, you know.
People in the chat are just going crazy, naming everything as.
It's so fucking great.
The fire department is socialist. The police department is socialist. The United States.
I thought you hated the police department, Cenk. I thought they were all racist and terrible and horrible. So did socialism fail the police department? I don't know.
Well, again, is that a state problem that I'm hearing? The police are racist?
Yes. Again, it's the state somehow.
The point I was going to make is that in the United States, except for like big cities like New York City, which they have like a ridiculous fucking the fire department's budget in New York City is insane because it's actually supported by the city and the state. But there's a lot of fire departments that are volunteer. A lot.
Oh yeah, they're all over the place over here. Just little buildings, volunteer fire department number, fill in, whatever number.
Yeah. They're extremely common. Anywhere rural, they're everywhere. They're like every fire department.
Military is socialist. It is not a private corporation. It is run by the government.
So it's either a private corporation or it's socialist.
Yeah. There we go. That is the distinction in the Young Turk's mind. It is that simple. It is that basic. It is just like a child's interpretation of socialism.
Was slavery socialism?
Ooh.
No, that was private. Capitalism did that.
Oh, okay.
The state telling it okay, right, yeah.
it being written in the Constitution. That's capitalism.
What I love about it though, right, is that the ownership of the slave is effectively what the state will have over the individual in a socialist system. You don't get to just decide where you work. You don't decide how much you get paid. You don't decide what jobs you're going to quit. You get told where to fucking work. And how is that different to a slave owner in the Deep South?
Yeah, most CEOs are white, so it's worth it.
Well, there we go. Checkmate. Sorry, we've got a minute left to Cenk. Let's do it.
Gigantic, and the government runs it.
What about their health care? The Congress?
Yeah. Lawmakers take advantage of their socialist healthcare.
I thought they wrote into Obamacare that they didn't have to sign up for it. They gave themselves exemptions from it because they had so much faith in it.
Politicians corrupt. I accept it. Go on.
I need to get healthcare because in taxes I found out how much the penalty was for me, and I'm like, well, fuck me in the asshole sideways.
Is that good or bad? I don't know how it works with you guys.
Oh yeah, I guess that's another. Well, the I need to get. It's probably cheaper for me to get healthcare than to pay the penalty, even though I don't want it right now. But oh well.
As well, the distinction between healthcare overall and healthcare insurance, right? And so Bernie Sanders' proposal is not the UK proposal, which actually takes over and has the government take over all of healthcare. And
not true.
How is it not?
It's not true. We have private healthcare here. Like the government does, and again, this is the thing. The government is providing a service that doesn't prevent anyone else providing any other services or competing services and stuff like this, right? Like we like Bupa and stuff like this. I don't even know how popular they are. I don't see them around anymore, actually. But we do have private healthcare here. It's just for rich people, basically. The poor people have got free healthcare. Or like middle class people have got free healthcare. You don't need to buy healthcare. So it's like you could buy healthcare if you. It's a market, Cenk. That's why the Danes came out and said, "Look, we're not fucking socialists. We're capitalists, you idiots."
The UK is not communist. They're socialist.
I'm just gonna let you have that one.
Yeah. What's my argument?
Well, I mean, under Corbyn, maybe.
Oh God, honestly, our politics are fucked, man. I just can't get over how like the choices are so bad.
They're a mixed economy, like we all are.
Oh, good. We've agreed they're not socialist. That's good. They're a mixed economy. Thanks, Cenk.
Like we all are.
Fire departments of the world unite.
Oh, man.
Oh, they're being oppressed by the bourgeois police forces.
So his proposal is only for the government to provide health insurance, as they do in a sense fire and police. If you're about to get killed, we send you and we don't ask if you're poor, middle class, or rich, whether you're in a fire or you're being mugged.
What I love is like, okay, so institutional bias, is that what you're admitting to me?
What I find interesting as well is like police, fine, that's a unique thing that the state has to do. But I mean, you could conceivably have a private fire department, couldn't you?
Yes.
There's no particular moral or political reason that you couldn't have private fire departments.
There's right now, especially in my area, all the ambulance, all the ambulances are actually privatized, all of them.
Yeah, because I mean, like this is something I was thinking about. In fact, this is I don't even know why I said it this way because I already knew the answer to this. Like most of the things that the government does were things that were done privately first. It's just there was such a society-wide useful thing that everyone was just like, look, just let the government do it. We'll all pay into it because we all need it, So
my job is actually something that existed here before, like because I'm a private investigator. Private detective agencies have been around far longer.
Yeah.
Than even like the current existing like the modern I was going to say the police. Yeah. The police, but departments. The way that they're set up now, like private detectives pre-existed.
Yeah, but why be a private detective when you can be a social detective?
Oh.
But it's the same with fire departments. I mean, like this is how Crassus got rich in Rome. He'd basically wait until he'd had a bunch of slaves that have as like a fire extinguishing service, and then he'd just rock up someone's house that was on fire. He didn't start it. It's just the house is on fire. He's like, look, I'll buy your house for cheap.
Couldn't help but
it's on fire.
Yeah, couldn't help but notice your house was on fire there.
How about I buy that from you, or you can pay me to put it out, or whatever, And yeah, so he ended up buying up huge amounts of property and becoming the richest man in Rome because he owned a fire department. So I mean, it's not like only fire departments. Well, I suppose that's very socialist, isn't it? Okay, Cenk's got 30 more seconds of talking absolute shit, and I have to go to bed.
If your kid has cancer, we shouldn't ask, well, are you rich enough? Oh, you're not? Let the kid die. Let the kid die in the fire. Let him get shot to death, or let him die because he can't get treatment.
Saving orphans from burning buildings since X year.
It's curing cancer in children.
Oh my God.
No, that's not who we are. Because in reality, America is in that sense socialist. Like,
okay,
the last line.
So, America is a socialist country. Good news.
Well, it's like at this point, what the hell does that word mean anymore?
Exactly.
To them, it means nothing.
But it means capitalism. But on the plus side, America's already socialist, so I guess you guys must have won. Anyway, right, chat, I hate to say it, but I'm literally dying here. So I really hope you don't mind if I don't go through the other super chats. I'm really sorry. But I am actually literally going to fall asleep because it's been a long day. But tomorrow, I hope there will be some very, very good videos up. Honestly, I'm probably getting in trouble for some, but that probably just means good press coverage. So
more press coverage, and that's good.
Yeah, and Louis and Rags, thank you so much for joining me. I've had a really, really good time.
Oh, no problem.
And I hope you guys enjoyed that video as much as I did. Because honestly, when I saw it, I had to do this kind of stream, but I'm really glad you guys were here because, man, I knew you'd enjoy it. I fucking knew you'd enjoy it. Like,
I'm one step closer to being a communist myself. Not that that doesn't have anything to do with socialism, by the way. Just so we're clear, and I don't know why anybody would confuse the two.
All I know is that as much criticism and as much shit that I give, like people like Ben Shapiro and that, like the more I hear from progressives and the more irritating they are in terms of like, well, we have this state problem and what we need is the state for the solution. It's like they're like pushing me further and further and further to like the objectivist right. Where it's like, you know what? How about fuck all you parasites? Privatize fucking everything.
Ben Shapiro sends his regards.
Because the fact is that there are many things that the government does directly subsidize and fund that are done better and at a better cost by the private sector.
Yeah. There are certain things. There are also things where there are situations where it doesn't. I mean, I would say the rails in this country could definitely be I remember when they were nationalized and they were better. So, I'm just saying. But I think that basically the takeaway from this is that Private Detective Louis Levi in his trench coat is going to pop his collar, shoot the finger guns, and walk away. Am I right or am I right?
And then privatize the police forces.
And then privatize the police force. Like the good left winger that he is.
Yeah,
right. Okay, well, it's been an absolute pleasure, honestly. Thank you everyone for joining me, and thank you everyone who's supported me and donated. I really appreciate it. The money is going to be going to John Wong's pay packet because he's doing an unbelievable amount of work for me at the moment. He currently is editing up those videos, so tomorrow morning they should be ready because we want to get them done as quickly as possible because then they're fresh in the news cycle. I hate to be cynical about it, but we've got to I'm not even telling him to do it either. He just does it. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it could have been done tomorrow. You know what I mean? But yeah, we're just like out all day working, so it's like honestly, all the support is really appreciated. We're probably going to completely tank in the elections because the media is totally against us. But we worked hard, even if we do. Okay, that's all I'm saying is we worked fucking hard, and hopefully
the more they talk about you, the better it is for you not to interrupt.
Well, I think it's probably true.
It's notoriety, it's name recognition. That's highly important.
But I think the most important thing is that even if this is all a total bust, I think we've had some bloody good content out of it. Like I feel that everyone is having a good time doing all of this.
And there's always next time.
Well, that's true, isn't it? Yeah, that's absolutely true. But yeah, I feel like everyone, because it seems to have polarized everyone in the sort of like, hey, we've got a fun community activity that literally like hundreds of thousands of people can get involved with, and everyone seems to be having a really fun time with it. So that if nothing else, that's been worth it for me overall. I swear to God, I'm really enjoying doing this. And anyway, thank you everyone, and I'll speak to you later.